20 seconds.
Hello, YouTube.
Now we're live. Hey, YouTube, what's going on, everybody?
Here's midnight.
It's me. It's me. I'm the guy. I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Don't be your guy. So, I've got a couple other Yahoos in here. Today's show is brought to you by Lifesavers Butter Rum.
Butter rum candy.
Yeah, I saw some Butter Rum Lifesavers. I haven't seen them in forever.
That reminds me of my grandma.
I forgot how awesome they are. So good. So, tonight, we're going to do, for the second time, we're going to do that Inside the Business thing. Today's topic is ordering. So, I got some sort of bullet points written down on, ordering for a restaurant, or my thoughts on ordering for a restaurant. And again, guys, it's an open forum. If you guys think anything, you have any questions or whatever, go ahead and voice them or throw them in the private chat there so I can see it and I'll get to them. And you guys out in the audience, do the same. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. We'll see. I don't know we'll see if this is interesting or not. Maybe not. Some of these are going to be hit. Some of them are going to be missed. We'll see. And then there is a poll up there to vote for next week. We'll give this a couple of weeks here and see how people like it. This week's poll, how to be a good customer. And it'll just be, from my point of view, things that I like about customers, things when they do that I like, that I appreciate, things that I don't like, things that are helpful, things that are, that are tough, make my job harder. Serving event food. I get that question a lot. People are like, how the hell do you do this party stuff? And you get all this food out so fast. And how the hell do you know what to do? It's, it's like magic to some people. So next would be tips for ordering. And that is for you as a customer, tips for ordering. Like, you go into a restaurant and sit down and what can you do to make sure you get what you want and make sure you know what you're getting. And then prep techniques would be, we talk a little bit about how we prep in a restaurant, how we hold food, the reason that we prep the way we do. That would, gets into ordering and, the types of food and that kind of stuff too. So how to be a good customer is leading right now, but then I got 6 votes, which is good. Appreciate you guys voting in that. And, we'll see. And just remind me if I don't mention this, maybe within the next hour or something, we'll mention it again for people that might just be showing up. So I got a couple people out there, Bucks out there, Moose out there, G23, Clover Tack is out there. And that damn thing just started again. Crazy. I've got an article pulled up and it's a news thing and it keeps starting itself and it's driving me nuts. Warsaw, Clover Tack, what's going on, guys?
Does the page refresh? It's like the page that video keeps playing. Does it refresh or it's just the video?
Maybe. I mean, it's not just the video. It's a website,
Yeah, the website. But I mean, like, does it like refresh when the video plays or something? Some pages do that. You have it on and then you scroll and then somehow like it refreshes itself again sometimes. And that starts up the videos and the advertisements and stuff. I don't know. Sometimes those things, they are annoying.
That's probably what's happening. Yeah. But I've never had it happen. Tell you the truth. This is the only time I've ever had it happen. Gizzards out there.
Gizzard.
Clover Tech says, anyone else love ordering fast food from an app or kiosk? Have total control over whatever you want. Custom options included. It's pretty sweet. You can actually get a Big Mac for half price that way. Yeah, I know a lot of places are doing online ordering. I was telling these guys in the beginning of the chat or before the chat that we got food from a restaurant that when I called to place the order for pickup, they actually wouldn't take my order. They wanted me to go online and do the order online because of their staffing issues. So, that says a lot in terms of what's going on out there with staffing, but also the places are doing whatever they got to do to take, to get the orders in. If they, the more they push people towards online ordering, the less they have to worry about. And yeah, I will say this. The only difficulty with online ordering is special requests. Some websites don't have an option to type in special requests even, and some of them have a very small, this one today, I needed to type in some special requests, and I think I had like 25 characters on a line to do it or something. It's not very much if you want something special, and it's not necessarily just like, well done, or you know what I mean, or something like that, or no salt. But if you're actually, saying, oh, something specific, you can have a hard time with that. So, I will say this, voice your opinions, I guess, is probably a good thing to say. If somebody wants you to do online ordering and their online ordering sucks, let them know. Say, hey, I'm okay with online ordering, but I'm having a hell of a time with your website. It's not very easy to use. I can't find stuff. There's no room for me to type in, special requests or whatever. Because you get that with people with allergies and stuff. If there's nowhere for them to type that in, you're going to have to call you and bother you anyway. So it's kind of goofy.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed that on some, like in DoorDash or Grubhub, sometimes like when you're ordering from a restaurant, and they'll have like, usually I think it's like a fast food restaurant or something. It'll list there like, oh yes, how you order a combo. You could say, yeah, I want bacon or extra cheese or no cheese and stuff. Sometimes they'll put there in the bottom, no special requests are allowed at this time because we're not able to do that. And I'm kind of like, wow, that's kind of, because it's kind of like we said, somebody has a food allergy, they have to know ahead of time what they're ordering, because if not, they can get something that doesn't agree with them.
Yeah, and you have to allow for certain special requests. And if you're gonna, I've always tried to do my best to take care of everybody. There's certain things that you have to say no to. There's certain things that just aren't possible. There's certain things that just aren't possible because of how busy you are, your staff. But I've always tried to do my best to do what I can for people, and hopefully they appreciate it. But we will. I don't think anybody else knew Gizzard's out there. Like I said, Morsall's out there. So, how are you guys doing? Moo, what's going on, man? What's up with you? Anything?
Not a whole lot. I'm just kind of, man, it's one of those days. I'm just beat. I just had a busy Friday, Saturday, and then today was just kind of, I guess it's kind of just a recovery day, I suppose. I don't know. I just can't shake it. Yeah, kind of bummed out. My daughter's going back to college this week, so I don't know. Maybe that's playing a little bit of it. I'm kind of kind of depressed,
Yeah, I'm working.
But she visits you a lot, right? On the weekends or something. When she's home, when she's not going to school.
No,
she's working, right? Is she staying with y'all?
No, we moved her stuff up to campus last week, and she's moving up there permanently. I mean, for the school year. I mean, she might.
But like when she's not in school, she's staying with y'all, or she's with a friend or something.
She's got an apartment on just south of campus.
Okay. Like I said, yeah, but like I said, when she's not in school, she visits with you a lot.
Oh yeah. When she's gone for September through May or whatever, she's up there most of the time. But then she'll spend the summer here, come home and work.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like she's going back to school now and stuff. So you're gonna see her like maybe in the holidays or when she has some time, something.
Maybe once in a while when she comes home on the weekends. But you know how that goes. It's always hanging out with friends that aren't up there. Just same thing that happened with me when I was in school. So
of course.
I mean, I see her like every day now, right? And now I'm not going to see her until she comes to visit. So
when she comes to visit, so then it's kind of like, there's a body on the couch. Yeah, it looks like my daughter. Yeah. And then you got to wait till the person wakes up. Oh, yes, that's it. It is my daughter.
She just took it was like $5,500 in cash to the bank yesterday
Wow.
because she's waitressing, and all of her cash tips, whatever she didn't spend, she's putting it in the bank so she can have it up there.
Yeah.
You don't realize how big a stack of cash is, $5,500 when it's in 20s.
Yeah, that's a lot of bills.
Right. Right there, he's like, gun money. Yeah, I could buy this with that. I could buy that with that.
She's paying for all of her rent. That's her living expenses,
Wow. Okay, cool.
And yeah, she had money left over in her student loan that she could apply for her classes this year and books. And I mean, she's Dean's List. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So anyway,
I have a nephew that when he was working at Denny's as a waiter, a server and stuff, and he was, he worked real good that people requested him, like, hey, is he working today, and he was saving all that money because he was also going to school, so he was always saving money for school, and then just like in case like emergency money and stuff like that, in case he needed money and stuff like that, and then money he spent, so yeah, some people, if they already know how to budget their money and stuff, they'll have what they need. Like I said, your daughter works so much, she has like for her rent, money you need to pay for bills or anything for emergency. She has it. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. You're on mute, Midnight.
You're mute, Midnight.
Yeah, that would help. I'm doing a lot of pricing for the restaurant for paper goods, disposables, paper bags and cups, coffee cups, so plasticware, straws, all that kind of stuff. And one of the companies that the company that I'm waiting on, his kid went back to college. They moved him up to college last week, so he wasn't able to get any of my shit for me. It's driving me nuts.
Dang.
So yeah, I guess that's all I got.
What's up with you? What's up with you, George? What's going on, man?
Not a lot. Today's been just a laid back day. I've been it's been a long week, and then of course I just finished off watching the Z Nation marathon I did. So I started on Titans since the third season just started last week or so. And I'm trying to watch first and second season before I watch the third season. So I'm already finishing up the first season. So should be starting up second season tomorrow or later tonight. Who knows? And see how that goes.
Yeah, no problem. It's cool.
And that, it's going all right.
Mm-hmm. Tupperware, what's up, buddy?
I was going to say, are you mute?
He might not be there.
Yeah, he might have walked away from the screen.
It's okay. TPC, I sent you a link there, buddy. So, TPC is a restaurant guy from back in the day too. So,
wow,
might be interested in talking about some of this stuff. So we'll do the inside the business thing first. Like I said, out there in the chat, if you have any questions or comments about the topic, don't be afraid to chime in. Yeah, he just said he's back in a few minutes. So what was chosen last week for this week was ordering. And so I didn't want to write like a story or a whatever. Like I wrote down a bunch of bullet points. I figure we can go through them and sort of have an open conversation about them. And then for anybody new out there, there is the poll up there so you can vote on what we're going to talk about next week. So this week it's ordering. And there's a couple different ways to kind of look at ordering. Restaurants will run par stocks or they'll order as needed, or maybe a little bit of both. A par stock would mean, once you get down to 3 of something or whatever it might be, say honey comes in like a 2 pound little, usually you get them in 2 pounds. You can get them bigger, but normally 2 pounds is pretty common to see. Once you get down to 3 of those, no matter what kind of business you got going on, you're going to order them. You get them in, and that's it. And then there's as needed ordering, which is, once you get down to 3, we'll say again, I look at it and I'm like, man, next week's going to be pretty slow. Or, it's Thursday. I'm not going to order it for Friday. I'll order it for Monday. That'll be enough for me to get through the weekend for sure, which is generally how I order. And me working at smaller places, private restaurants, you don't want to leave too much money on the shelves, if that makes any sense. If I don't need we'll keep using honey. If honey is 12 2-pounders in a case, and I only go through 1 a week, why am I going to order when I have 3 left? And get a whole kit, and then have 27 on there. So now I got enough for 27 weeks. That's crazy. So that's kind of the way. Those are the two, in my mind. Those are the 2 main ways you can come at ordering. Another thing is that we have to take into account is multiple purveyors. Do you have 1 purveyor? Do you have 2 purveyors? Do you have 3? Do you have a meat guy, a seafood guy, a paper goods guy, a broad market guy? And what are their minimums? So a lot of people, might not think of that too. And these kind of things, that we're talking about, the topics, I'm really trying to think of things that maybe the public might find interesting because they don't realize or they don't think about it. But minimums actually comes into play quite a bit, especially in the winter or off seasons. Some people's off season is the summer, it is what it is. But he said he didn't get it here. Hold on. Let me try again. Or can somebody else? Let me see here. Let me see. Where does email go? Shoot. Oh, he took it off. I don't have it. Okay. Well, if anybody else, Clover, I don't know if you have TPC's email. If you could forward that, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. So, or one of you guys on the channel or in the chat. So, multiple purveyors and minimums comes into effect a lot, where they have a 15 case minimum or a $700 minimum or $1,000 minimum. Small restaurants have a hard time with that. So when you're setting up your restaurant, and that's what we're doing now, you got to take that into account. What's the minimum? How often can you order? If you're a small restaurant, you're a little mom and pop place that might just be doing lunch business and closing, you're going to have a hard time filling a $500 order 3 times a week. Let alone if you have 2 purveyors that you're trying to get a minimum for. That's tough. It's tough. So, you find yourself only having 1 purveyor, so you can get your orders bigger for that 1 purveyor, and you're stuck with the pricing from 1 purveyor too. So that's kind of tough. Order sheets are important. A lot of people do order sheets. I've seen people do order sheets alphabetically, and that's a nightmare because that's not how your kitchen is set up. If you think about if you would go to your house and you're looking around, it's like, you're getting ready to go to the store. Like, let me look around and see what we need. You wouldn't go, okay, I'm going to look for apples, and then I'm going to look for apricots, and then I'm going to look for something else, and then I'm going to look for blueberries, and then I'm going to look for, no, you're going to open up the fridge, and you're going to look at everything in the fridge, and it's the same thing in a restaurant. My order guides will be set up. I don't have one yet because place isn't set up, but they'll be set up as dry storage, refrigerator, freezer, and that kind of, and then in each one of those, you're going to work like left to right, top to bottom or something, just like you would read. Look, top shelf, what's on the top shelf? What's on the middle shelf, left to right? And that's how you set up your stuff. So, and, another, probably the biggest thing that people don't get is, or they question, or they want to ask questions on is, how the hell do you know how much to order when you don't know how busy you're going to be? And it's like, well, how do you know if you're going to be busy or not? What if you're slow? What if you're way busier? And that's tough because you don't have a crystal ball, right? But you do have past experience. And, you look at that same day last year. You look at last year, the weather of last year, and this all, you take notes. There's different programs you could use. There's also a program, not a program, but a system called Redbook. And basically it's almost like encyclopedias for your restaurant. And it's or a diary for your restaurant, I guess is the best way to put it. And every day you write down the date, the day of the week, the weather, what staff you had on, what specials you had. You write down, you basically take note of everything in the restaurant. You take down if you had any issues. You take down if there's any events in the area, if it's a holiday, like I said, and how many reservations you had to start, how many had customers you did when it was all said and done, and that kind of stuff. And that's super useful because you come in on 4th of July weekend and you can look back on last 4th of July weekend and the year before that and see what the trends have been. So that's really helpful. And it does give you an idea of like, oh, we did 150 covers last year and 140 covers the year before. Probably do around there, unless something major has changed, and trends do change. But that's a really powerful tool to have, is the ability to look back and see what you've done in years past. And that can really help you out now. Another thing, quality of staff. Quality of staff affects ordering too. People might not realize that. They might just think like, well, quality of staff is going to, that's going to affect the quality of food, the timing of the food, the timing of the quality of service. But in the back of the house, quality of staff is going to affect what you order, how you order it, and when you order it. If you have a really strong staff, you can get away with prepping more stuff from scratch. If you have a weaker staff, you're going to have to order some more pre-made stuff, because maybe they might not have the knowledge to do it, or they might not be fast. They might not be fast at prep. So they're not going to be able to get it all done. That's happened to every chef. You get to the point where it's like, wow, we're kind of short staffed. I'm like, instead of making this, I'm going to have to buy it. I'm going to, instead of getting whole loaves of bread and slicing them down for stuffing, and I did this, I did that this past year when we were shut down for Corona, we were still doing takeout only, we did some family style stuff. And it was like, I'm like, it was just me and my sous chef, and we were doing this basically like big party almost. We're, doing all this food, and it was like, we're going to do stuffing, and I'm just going to buy the cubed bread this time, because we were kind of hurting for people. And so there you go. So that kind of quality of staff actually affects your ordering too. You might order something different than you normally do. Next thing I have is breaking cases. And we talked about this a little bit last week, I think, when we had Guns and Barbecue on, because he was talking about doing that barbecue thing. And he was like, man, if I order a whole case of ribs and I only sell 3 ribs out of that case, now I'm stuck with 22 ribs or something like that, or 21 ribs or something. And having a company that can break cases and not charge you an arm and a leg for doing it is pretty cool. I have a company that does a real good job with that. They don't give me a hard time. They break a lot of stuff, and they don't push their reps to really hit you on a breaking cost. Where if it's $20 for 4 gallons of mayonnaise and I only need one, he's not charging me $10 for that one or something. And that's really good. I mean, there's some companies that are just, they take what they can get from you. And then there's other ones that are pretty cool to work with that aren't trying to rake you over the coals. Storage space, obviously. What kind of storage space do you have? Can you sit on, again, with like mayonnaise or something, or a salad dressing, if you're going to buy a salad dressing versus making it, can you buy a case to save the money and then sit on the other 2 that you didn't use? Or is space at a premium? Place I'm going to be at now, space is at a premium. I don't have a huge cooler. I don't have a huge freezer. I don't have a ton of dry storage space. So, I'm going to find myself having that question when we're doing ordering, especially with parties. It's like, man, am I going to want to sit on this? Should I save the extra? Should I save the $5, sit on this stuff and try and use it? Or should I just wash my hands of it, get what I need, and move on? That's a tough question sometimes. And then the last thing I have is, is ordering due to freshness. There's everybody wants everything to be as fresh as possible. And they, some people are really work hard to do that. Some people don't work hard at it at all. Most people are in the middle. But there are different reasons for ordering something early too. We used to get, the place I used to work, we used to get these slider rolls in from a company in Philly. We used to get them we used them on the menu, and then we also used them for parties. And we would do sliders for parties as a past hors d'oeuvre, basically. And so, I would use maybe, I don't know, for instance, if I used on average 2 dozen a night, then once a week or once every other week, I might use 75 just in one party, plus those ones for the line, for the regular restaurant. And there was a couple of times that I had gotten burned because I would order them for the day of the party. And I would come in and I'd be like, whoa, where's my slider rolls? And I would only have gotten half of them. They're like, oh, well, they only had half. They ran out. Or they would come in. I've had them come in. They were dark. They were too dark. And I was like, dude, these are too dark. I don't want to use them. But now I'm stuck. Now I'm in a pinch. I'm like, okay, can't go down to Philly and get more, They don't have them even if I'd want them, even if I could get down there to get them. So I stopped ordering for the day of. And I even had my owner saying like, oh, why don't you just get them the day of? And they're so nice and fresh. I was like, because I've gotten burned on them. I've gotten screwed up. And we've had to run around, buying slider rolls and getting from different places that we don't prefer because we got screwed because we ordered them last minute. Not last minute, but we wanted to get them in last minute. So that's kind of tough. So those are just a bunch of things that kind of come into the ordering in my mind. And if there's anything that anybody else can think about, that they might be curious about, let me know. TPC, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just retired for the night and kicking back, listening to the show because I heard you say last night you were talking restaurant stuff, and
yep,
that type of stuff interests me. So,
well, we're going to do it every week. So, please feel free to join anytime you want. You're always welcome.
well, you're going to have to put up with my lame sense of humor a lot then.
That's okay. Everybody on the panel's lame in their own way. It's not like there's anybody cool here at all. So what do you think? I mean, you did this for a while back in the day. When you think about ordering for the restaurant, I'm assuming you ordered for the restaurant. I mean, some
I ordered for 3 restaurants. So
there you go. And I did that back in the day too, when I was really young, when I was at the country club that I worked at. I did it as best I could because I was so busy. Tried to oversee the ordering and coordination for a grill, fine dining, and a spa and parties, and that was that was tough. But yeah, so when you think about like things that a regular Joe, somebody out in the public might think is interesting about ordering tricks of the trade kind of thing. What do you think of? Anything?
Well, we charted everything. I mean, as far as we actually had use lines on our charts for each restaurant. What was being used at what rate. Gary, our boss, was Mr. Micromanage Maniac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's why he was a millionaire too. So, he knew how to run his business. Mm-hmm. But we just we had particular things, meat orders especially, because most of the stuff that we did fresh. I mean, we made all our own breads, we made all of our own sausage, made all of our own meatballs, hand cut all our steaks. Everything was pretty much done, bulk order. So, and I mean, I'm sure you're doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So we would have a list, and the rate of what we were using week to week, and we would compare, the previous week to like 2 weeks ago to 3 weeks ago, and see what the consistency rate was. So we would have an idea, and everything was pretty much a crapshoot because you never knew what your business was going to be. Mm-hmm. With Gary's Restaurants, we had, a Michelin star fine dining on top of Citibank Tower in Phoenix. That was Double Eagle.
Wow.
And then we had, a midline family dining restaurant, which was his restaurant Nano's. And then we had Kuro's Kitchen. He also had the Breakfast Nook, and he had a sandwich shop on campus at ASU. So we'd sit there, and most of the time at the family restaurant at Nano's, we would sit there and we would do all of the sausage making, all of the meatball making. We would make all the breads, long buns, short buns, dinner rolls, and that would all be done there because that restaurant didn't open until 4:00 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So during the day, we would have our baking orders, which was handled by Gary's wife, because she was the head of all the baking. She is a whiz when it came to baking. But everything was, by need. What did we use the most of to what did we use the least of? And that was all charted out, had it on a wall chart, whether we were ordering from U.S. Food Service, from Roma's, or whoever was delivering our stuff at the time. Roma and U.S. Food were the two main ones that Gary dealt with. And then we had a lot of local vendors in Phoenix that we dealt with.
So when, you said the owner wanted everything charted, usage chart, which I could see why people would want that. Did he do it more for cost control and waste and spoilage?
Yeah.
Or was it, and theft, or was it just because he wanted to see where the money was or is it because he was like, crazy about it?
Well, Gary was straight off the boat from Sicily, so he had a bit of psycho in him, but he was very, very untrusting of everybody. He wanted to pinch every penny possible, and he hated waste. He hated throwing anything away. I mean, when people, and this especially with fine dining. Fine dining. 50% of the people who go to fine dining restaurants go there to be seen rather than to actually eat. And they'll sit there. They'll order a meal. $70-$80 off the, and mind you, this is back in the 90s, but $70 or $80 off the menu, and $110 worth of drinks. And then you've got say a fillet, bacon wrap fillet, and they never touch it. Comes back, it would drive Gary insane to see that go into the garbage can. I mean, he was just going nuts.
Yeah.
And in his broken English, and it was hilarious that he had broken English, because he had been in the country when I was the 3 years that I worked for him. He had been in the country for, I think, 30 years at that point in time. But he was the rags to riches story. He was a guy who came over from Sicily. He was kind of a line cook when he was in Sicily. Came over here and he lived in Fall River, Massachusetts, and worked his way up through a couple of different restaurants there. And he worked for I want to say his last job before he got his first restaurant was working for Emeril Lagasse.
Oh, very cool.
And we actually had Emeril at the Double Eagle a couple of times. But I mean, Gary literally worked his way up from nothing to he was the roving restaurant owner. He went from Fall River, Massachusetts to Chicago, from Chicago to Texas City, Texas, Galveston area. Opened up a bunch of restaurants there, sold them off, moved to Phoenix, opened up 5. He ended up having 5 or 6 restaurants before he left there. And then
that's more common than people realize, is that people, restaurateurs, restaurant owners, they don't always want to run restaurants, but they like to create restaurants. And I've seen that with chefs too, and restaurant owners. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I have an example of a chef that was that I knew years ago. That was a little older than me. Really good chef. Just a natural cook. Didn't go to culinary school. Just learned as he went. Learned a lot, was a good chef, good at what he did, opened up a really small restaurant, and it was really cool, really bitching, like just a small 13, it was like 13 tables, I think, and some of them were deuces, like it was small. And it was really cool, man. I used to stop in, for when I had my bike, I'd ride there sometimes for breakfast. And then he opened up a second place, and the second place was not that far away, maybe 10 minutes. But as soon as he really got working on opening that second place, the first place fell apart. He just wasn't there anymore. And he didn't delegate well. He just expected everybody to suck it up, bust their ass, and just do whatever needed to be done. But it didn't seem like he really set things up and set people up with expectations and job duties well enough. And things started to slack, and then he just lost interest, and when it fell apart, he lost interest and moved to the new place permanently and sort of sold the other place. So, but there's also people that do that move on in a better way, and they buy a place or they renovate a place or they build a place, they run it for a little while, and then they phase themselves out. And this is what the owner did at the last place I was at. He just phased himself out. And next thing you know, he's owning that place, and you see him every once in a while. And he's opening up a new place, and then another place, and another place. And, because he took the time to give everybody their expectations and set everything up as properly as you can, people didn't even realize that he wasn't there day to day bitching at everybody and yelling at everybody, so, and that's good. It's kind of the same thing as when people see me in the dining room and they're like, oh, my steak was awesome. I love to tell people that I didn't make something that they loved, because it means that I did a good job. I did a good job training. I did a good job managing. I did a good job ordering. I did a good job, whatever, because they got something that they thought was awesome, and I didn't touch it. So that's really important to me. So yeah, there's different ways to look at it. I was just wondering, because, with your guy there's some people that are just hell bent on not letting every nickel worth of product needs to be allocated properly. And then there's other people that are like, it's a restaurant, let people, snack, or let people do what they want. And then there's most people that are in the middle where, so I was just wondering why they did that, because, it was interesting to see.
Yeah, Gary was he was one of those people that he didn't mind the necessary loss,
Right.
I mean, but there was stuff that would drive him crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary was the type of guy, I mean, Gary was what I always called a chef maker. Gary was a French master chef when I met him.
Huh?
So he had some serious cred as far as cooking goes.
Mm-hmm.
And the chef I worked under when I first went to work for Gary was a guy named Wade Birch, and Wade became some kind of big deal in Dallas. He was a great guy, probably the best chef I've ever met in my life. I mean, the guy could do everything, and he was good at it. Great attitude, never treated people like crap. The exact guy you want to learn from.
Right.
And it sounds like you're a lot the same way. I never I never liked most people when I was cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, I found, everybody thought that they were the be all end all. Their their opinions, their recipes, their ideas were the only ones in the world.
Right.
And Gary, I thought, was that way when I first met him, but he actually wasn't. As I got to know him, as I worked for him, I found out, a lot different, and actually how pliable he was, to new ideas and new approaches.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when it came to running the restaurant, I mean, Gary was at the Double Eagle from open to close, and would be in and out. I mean, he'd go to Nano's, he'd go over to Caro's Kitchen. On the weekends, you'd see him pop up at the Breakfast Nook, or you'd see him pop up at the sandwich shop on campus. And, he had to have his fingers in everything.
Right.
He wanted everybody to know he was there. Mm-hmm. So, you see that.
And that's 100% how my old boss was at the beginning. He just micromanaged like a son of a bitch, and he was really hard and could be very straightforward and kind of cold. And when I first started working for him, I got a lot of warnings. People will be like, oh, you're working for, so and so. I'm like, yeah, and then, a year into it, or a year and a half or 2 years into it or whatever, when I had people saying, oh, you work for so and so, how's that? And I was like, it's great. You just got to understand why he does what he does.
Yeah.
And if you understand why if a person is really hard and strict and tries to be by the book and tries to do everything with a perfectionist kind of mindset, as long as they're doing it for the right reasons, I am 100% on board with them. I will do my best, and I will take the tongue lashings, and I will, take my medicine whenever I need to when I've made mistakes, because I understand why. And one of the things that he used to always say to me, not just to me, but to everybody, and this is something that I've said to people since then, and he's no longer with us. So I feel like it's kind of a good thing to teach on when he's not able to teach it to anybody, is if you take care of the restaurant will take care of you. And that mindset of like, I'm going to do my damnedest to make this the best business I can, because the better the business does, the better I can do. And, and that's important. But you also have to understand that the people that are helping you deserve to be rewarded too, and that's the only way it works.
Yeah, that was what I liked when I went to work for Gary. Is Gary was a very strict disciplinarian, but he was also the guy who would always be there to back you up. And when I first went to work, he used to rag on me constantly. He'd always tell me, because I started out as prep chef, and he'd tell me, he said, your cuts are beautiful, your cuts are awesome, but you are the slowest in the world. Okay.
When I was young, I cooked at a bar for a little while, and then I went to culinary school. When I was with culinary school, I had to do my internship. I did my internship at a country club, and the chef and the sous chef were, you want to talk about toxic personalities. They were toxic personalities for sure. And they combined into a toxic thunderstorm when they worked together. Very good chefs, but Jesus, just one of the last straws was they got in a blowout in the dining room, and or not in the dining room, in the kitchen. And the doors to go out to the dining room were like swinging doors. They swang in and out, 100%. And one of the last straws for them was they got in a blowout in the dining room, and one of them threw a saute pan at the other. Right as the server pushed the door open, and it skipped out into the dining room. And we were like, oh shit! Like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
Maybe that should be on the next poll. Tell us all your confrontations in the back and the front of the house. That'd be awesome.
That was a pretty rough one. Then when that thing went skipping out into the dining room, I thought, "Fuck, we're done."
or pranks you pull on each other in the back, shit.
Yeah. I got a couple.
The lighter side.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kitchen prank wars.
Right.
Yeah. But those guys, I remember when I started there as a prep cook, it was for a prep cook for banquets. I was doing my internship, but that's where they wanted me to start, whatever. I didn't have much line experience. And I remember doing piecework where or plating something up. And I was taking something off a sheet tray and putting it onto a serving tray, like it's some type of hors d'oeuvre. I don't remember what it was. And I was just, going like this, right? Going like this, just 200 of them or whatever. And he walked behind me and he said, "Do you have two hands?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, fucking use them. Use both your hands. Let's get that shit done." And that always stuck with me, because I was like, why not? Why shouldn't I do this to the best of my ability, And you struggle with that. Everybody struggles with that. Everybody in every job in the world probably struggles with that. And I still to this day struggle with that, because it's like, some days you don't want to give And I always say nobody can give 100%. If you're giving 100%, that means you're sprinting across the kitchen with flaming saute pans and whatever. So on a good day, it's like you give 90%, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with giving 90%. But there's days where you're like, I don't feel like giving 90%. I give 80, and I'm going to get away with 80. But more days than not, you got to force yourself to give that 90%. And I always remember him saying that. Do you have 2 hands? I'm like, yeah. I was like, what's coming on? What's coming now? But that's how you push people to be better, and that breeds the next round of great chefs. Without that, you've got a whole bunch of 80%ers running around.
Yeah, I had I won't say it was similar, but Gary made a joke with me one time because I was always very careful about when I was filling cannellonis and when I was filling manicottis, because we used fresh pasta, so they were sheet wrap rather than having like a fluted shell or something to that effect. But Gary wanted a certain appearance, especially at both ends. He wanted a complete flour at both ends, with the piping bag. And with the cannelloni, it was tougher because there was meat in there. But with the manicotti, they had to be perfect. I mean, no points. The flour had to be rounded. Each part of the flute or the petals, had to look right. And so I was always really careful, and Gary would get annoyed with that, because I wasn't working fast enough, and same type of thing with you. And Gary finally said to me one day, he's like, I want you to treat those like the girl on your first date. He said, bang, bang, done, get the next one. Oh, God, he didn't really just say that. And then every time, I'd be doing manicottis, he'd come by, and all he'd say is bang, 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 bang. Mm-hmm. And walk by, and I'd just be sitting there, and I'd just get this really wry smile on the side of my face because nobody else knew what the hell I was so funny about it, but it was hilarious to me. So
I'll never forget telling stories now, and it's fine. It's fun. We had a restaurant manager that I worked with for a little while, and he was great. He ended up having to leave because his wife had some health issues, but he worked at Cracker Barrel. He was a general manager at Cracker Barrel before I worked with him. So he had a lot of systems in place in his head, the way you do things, and this is how you do it. And this is how you do it the best way. And let's, and he was great like that. And I remember the owner is hard on him, just like he was hard on everybody else, try to get the best out of everybody. And I know you're doing things, but I want you to do them my way kind of thing, kind of guy,
Yep.
There's three ways to do it: the right way, the wrong way, and the way that I tell you to do it. And that's the way that I tell you to do it is fine. I mean, hey, it's your money, right? And I remember he was riding him one day, and his name was Barry. And Barry came back, and he was like, Jesus Christ, this guy. He's like, what does he want me to do? Shove a broom up my ass so I can sweep the restaurant while I'm running food? It was so funny. It was just it was one of the funniest things I had heard in a long, long time. And he's like, Jesus Christ, what does this guy want from me?
Oh yeah.
But it all works out in the end. He rode him hard, and once he knew he could handle it, then he faded away and faded off and let him do his job. And that was no more micromanaging. So you just got to let people prove themselves, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, you find out, depending on the staff you're working in, if it's a small group, it's easy to mesh. But when you have, 12 people in the kitchen, and then you've got, a wait staff of 20, and, then you've got your bus staff, and you've got your hosting staff, front of room stuff. It's hard to manage that many people and make it work smoothly.
Mhm.
When you've got 6 or 8, maybe 10 people in working the whole restaurant, it's a whole lot easier than when you've got 40 or 50. And that was the thing that always amazed me at the Double Eagle, because Gary never had a problem there. I mean, we had some malcontents that didn't last long. We had other people, and we had one guy, a cook named David, who he got caught stealing, and Gary had marked some product, and somehow it turned up at David's house when Gary was there for a party, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's it was amazing the way that Gary and Pat could run things. Pat was Gary's wife, and I mean, you're talking one guy who's Sicilian, Pat, his wife, was Portuguese, and I mean, just those two, smoked a carton of freaking Winston's a day, it seemed like, and they were at each other's throat constantly and loved each other to death. And it was just like, it was hilarious to watch, because I mean, they were obnoxiously successful. I mean, if I could do anything restaurant wise, I would like to run things exactly like they did.
Yeah. Well, and that's that's kind of what's tough nowadays is I don't know where you can go to run things like we used to run them, and do things like we used to do, and I know I'm a little bit younger than you, but I feel the same way. And I feel like I'm like, you soft sons of bitches, man. You have no idea. This quit on the spot because I yelled at you bullshit. I just it's not like it used to be, not, and I know there's a lot of times where people will say, oh, it's not like it used to be, but it's good because it's not like that anymore, because reason A, B, or C. But it's a harsh industry, and if you're not a harsh person, you need to figure out how to do it and not be a harsh person, and that's tough to do. It's tough to do. It's tough to be a nice guy in this industry and still succeed and check all the boxes in the business you need to check.
Yeah, I've heard people say that before, and I'm an old man. I'm 55 years old, and I watched how much better things ran, how much better things were done, when there was a little bit of an iron fist and a velvet glove.
Mm-hmm.
And now they want a rubber fist in a freaking, I don't even know what you would call it these days, but whatever you can find that's softer than velvet, microfiber.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it's horrible. I mean, you look at now. I mean, look at what we're going through now. Nobody wants to go back to work. Especially in the food service and in the service industries. I mean, we've got in town I live here, Kalamazoo, Michigan. We've got the county. We got a couple 100,000 people, and I mean, none of our restaurants are open full time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're literally. We've got restaurants, even the chains, are closing at 4:00 in the afternoon, 6:00 in the afternoon. Prime serving hours, they're closing because they don't have staff. Because people have gotten so soft. And they expect, the old saying, they expect a corner office job for a mail room, or a corner office salary for a mail room job. And I mean, they can't hire people. I've been getting headhunting calls here. And it's like, I've been out of the workforce for 12 years because I care for my mother.
Yeah. I've I've had 2 places call me and ask me to come in and do stuff, and I'm just like, we're about to get things are about to get fucking kind of crazy for me because we're getting equipment in soon. The dishwasher is going to be in soon, and once that shit hits, then it's going to be nuts. So, you know, I'm like, I can't. They're looking for whatever they can get. You know, they're like, oh, come in, do some prep, do some cooking, do whatever. And I was like, dude, I would only be able to do it for, I guarantee, like 4 days, because I think by the end of next week, things are going to be a little bit nutty for me. You know, they cut holes in the register, cut holes to put the POS systems in, you know, today or yesterday. So it's getting there. But
fun.
Yeah. So Tupperware said OnlyFans chains will change that. Yeah, it might help a little bit. Get some of them servers that were just shaking their ass at home and maybe shake their ass at the restaurant a little bit. But so what do you guys think on the move? Tupperware, Jorge, what do you got to say about it? Do you have any questions about? I mean, do you have any? You know, we're kind of open forum here. We're just kind of bullshitting about the industry. What do you guys think? Anything?
I'm like, when are we going to talk about guns? Just joking. No, one thing I was going to comment was about the hiring thing. Like, nobody wants to go back to work. It is true. Every freaking week when I'm going down the expressway, I pass through so many restaurants now hiring all positions, hiring. And I'm going like, wow, everyone's hiring, but like, what, you know, do they finally get people or something? Because the signs still stay on there, you know, outside the restaurants, you know, like pizza places, you know, Italian places, you know, Chuck E. Cheese, you know, all those places are hiring, you know, and they're open, you know, but it's just that I guess they need people and nobody wants to go back to work or something, you know.
Like I said, we went down to the beach a couple weeks ago, and places on the boardwalk, literally on the boardwalk, where there was a few places that were takeout only because they couldn't find enough people to staff every day. So that tells you something, because they are making bank down there. The people that are working, you know, servers are making tons of money. I know I've known people that have done it, and I've talked to people on this trip, especially because the way things are, I let them, you know, talk to them about the industry a little bit, and they're like, yeah, we make awesome money. We work hard, but we make awesome money, and we're just having a hard time. We just can't get enough people. So it's crazy. I mean, there's things happening that I never thought. I never thought that, you know, a place in a resort town that you can go and make, you know, $400 a day, you know, cash, would have a hard time finding people. That shows you that something is definitely crazy right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's a perfect example. We have a local barbecue place here. It's called Barrett's Smokehouse. They do pretty good barbecue. They've got 3 locations here in town, and they're a relatively new business. I think they've been around for about 2 years. 2 weeks ago, I get a call from the manager of the one that's down here in the city where I live. And he calls me up. He's like, I hear you do barbecue. I said, yeah. I said, not a lot. I said, he's like, you do catering runs, don't you? I said, yeah. I said, I do 10 or 12 a year. I said, I can't do a whole lot. I don't have, you know, a whole lot of equipment. He actually paid me. I made almost $1,700 doing a catering run for him with 3 briskets and 2 legs of lamb, because he didn't have enough people to run this cook for him, because it was an overnight cook that had to be delivered before noon the next day. It was for it was a Greek reunion and a wedding reception type thing all in one, you know. shindig type thing. I mean, I made a ton of money off that. These people were paying $35 and $40 a pound for brisket. You know, and I did, 3 prime briskets, and I did 2 whole legs of lamb. You know, and in my little smoker world, that took me 2 cooks. It was literally a 24-hour cook to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I got it there, and they called me only because they knew nobody else who did barbecue in this town. And I mean, when you've got a business that has 3 locations and can't put together enough, staff to actually do an overnight cook, there's a problem. Because like I said, their stuff's pretty good. It's not great, but it, as far for up here, it's fantastic. I mean, it's, I could make them better, but I'm kind of arrogant about that. But,
there's, and this better than as well as anybody. When you're doing things on a business level, on a restaurant level, there's some shortcuts sometimes you have to take too that aren't the best for the product, but you got to do it.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I've known these guys since they opened up too. I mean, we've competed at we do a pretty big rib fest here, and we've competed at the rib fest together before. So, it wasn't like we didn't know each other, but it's just these guys have money, they have restaurants, and I'm a little guy who's cooking in my freaking driveway. So,
right.
I do parties for local bowling leagues, and these guys, do freaking, things that serve hundreds of people. So it was just, it was kind of funny, but it really, drove home how bad, the market is right now for getting, workers. It's incredible.
Yeah. Just, same thing around here. There's a new taco place that just opened up. They had this.
What's her name?
Actually, it's Stan's. But
jail tacos.
Right. Yeah, they opened up for a week and then had to close for a week. They're like, sorry, we don't have anybody to work. And then my buddy just about 6 months ago bought a breakfast lunch place, and they put out on Facebook on Saturday, it says, we're going to be closed on Sunday. We don't have any staff. So it's the same messaging we're already talking about, but same thing around here.
Yeah, it's just insane. I was brought up differently, I guess. I mean, I would kill to be able to get out of this house and go to work somewhere. I mean, and I can't. I mean, I've done, 16, 18 hours a day, taking care of a handicapped 82-year-old lady. So, such is life. But, I mean, these people, I don't know how they live on a few $100 a month. It doesn't make any sense to me.
There is no work ethic anymore with the younger crowd.
Yeah, the younger crowds all moved back with their parents. That's why.
Skylar.
Skylers.
God, Skylar.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is, and hopefully it'll get better. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take to save the industry, and I think it's in trouble. Automation is not going to save it.
No,
because automation is going to dumb it down and make it less personable, and that will in turn make it worse. Ordering at kiosks and having one guy be able to cook a million different things in the back because it's all pre-cooked and all you're doing is heat and serve is not good for the industry.
Well, yeah, you're going from a dining experience to just eating.
Yeah.
Which we've been doing for the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's got to be taking the heart and the soul and the passion out of the industry is it will be the kiss of death. So the more automation that becomes in the industry, the less of those things you're going to have, and it's going to be rough. I just don't know what to do about it other than to push back on it on an individual level, and I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, see, people like you still have a passion for it too. So, I mean, as long as there are people like you out in the industry,
yeah,
it's still going to have a heartbeat. How well it's beating is another story, but
yeah,
I mean, it's like people like myself. I mean, I would love to have stayed in the industry, if I could have stomached the people, but unfortunately,
yeah,
I came up at the time that all of the arrogant freaks were coming out, and I mean, I was cooking when people like Bobby Flay were just getting their their reputations going, when they still weren't anybody, but all of those attitudes were coming out, and it was just, I'm a jokester. I'm somebody who's, happy-go-lucky, and, I don't really want to, I don't want to come down on anybody for anything. I'm a terrible manager because I'm too empathetic. And
oh yeah, that's my downfall. If there's anything, that's what it is too. You give people too many chances and try and sympathize with people too much instead of just being like, tough shit, fucking do it or beat it.
Yeah, that's why I got out of the industry, because there were too many people, that it was their way or the highway, and 90% of the time they were wrong to start with. But I'm not somebody who's gonna argue a lot with people. I don't have the energy for it. I mean, I don't like arguing with people. I don't like conflict.
Me either.
I have a very bad temper, and the less conflict I deal with, the less I have to worry about that temper coming to bear on somebody else. So
yeah,
and
it's tough. It's tough for sure. I tend to close myself off when I get upset or things don't, or people burn me in some way. I tend to just close myself off, and I get quiet, and I just do shit myself. And then I find myself getting frustrated because I'm running my ass off, hustling my ass off to make things happen, and everybody else is working at 50% speed. And then then bad things can happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you something funny. I was talking. Most people know that I build guitars, and I've I have scaled that back in the past 5 years because I don't have the time to build much. But Harrison from the NOM Federation, which is National Association of Music Merchants, that holds the biggest trade shows in the world every year, something I go to every year, asked me if I was interested. They have this thing called NOM University, and they have different people come in and give speeches, and I guess the fact that I've been around almost 40 years, he said, would you be interested in doing a speech? I said, I don't think I can. He's like, why not? I said, because the speech I would give is how people in this industry love to use others until they get what they want, and then they turn their back on them. And he's like, oh, you're kidding. I'm like, no. I said, that's pretty much where my head's at these days. And I just started cracking up, and he's like, yeah, I don't think so. But that's pretty much the way I look at it with people. When you said people burn you, it's it seems to be in everything these days. That's just the way people are.
Yeah, and you will find it's like that. Yeah, it's like that everywhere. People, it's a little bit of a mentality, I think, that goes across the generation, and and it's that easy quit mentality. And I saw a post the other day that said something along the lines of, quitting on the spot. People just walking out of a job, and they're like, well, it's your fault. I was so upset with the conditions, basically, that they felt it was necessary to quit on the spot. And I will say there are places that treat people like ass, and I think if somebody walks out on them, it's deserving. But I would say 90% of the time it's not. 90% of the time it's somebody that's not willing to live up to the standards of the place they work. And that's been my experience with people that walk out. Is it's a quality issue, it's a work ethic issue, and it's an issue with them not being able to live up to the standards that they said they could. And that's hard. And I will say, like I said, there are places that suck and fucking treat people like shit. And if you walk out of there, so be it. Good for you. Get out of there if they're not going to treat you right. But I mean, I've had people say, I'm going out for a smoke, and they just never come back in. And it was because we were busy, and because we were getting beat up, and they had enough. And they were like, there was no back and forth. There was no, hey, you know what? I'm killing myself here. I'm busting my ass. I'm this is I need a raise or whatever. It was just like, all right, I'll be right back. And they just ghost,
It's like that line from a movie. I haven't seen my dad since we went out to get a pack of cigarettes. Oh, when was that? 15 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah. We had a cook once, and she was good. She did a good job. She wasn't awesome, but she did a good job. And I was gonna switch her station from one from pantry. She had experience on grill and saute, and that's what she actually was hired for. But then my grill guy wasn't gonna leave, and like his job fell through and he was gonna stay. So I was like, well, I'll put you on pantry, And then after like 2 weeks, I was like, hey, I want to start cross training you so that somebody gets sick or whatnot, you can cover. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, go take a break, and when you come back in, I'm gonna stick you on saute, and we'll start teaching you some stuff over there and let you learn while it's slow, because it was slowing down. And she's like, okay, that's cool. And she just went outside for a smoke and just fucking never came back.
Jesus.
What'd you do?
She left skid marks, man. Just
yeah. You smell burnt rubber? That's her shoes running down the fucking alleyway?
You must have been staying there going,
yeah.
Okay.
But I've had it happen like multiple times where, I'll say, hey, have you seen whoever, Steve? Have you seen Steve? No. Why? He went to the bathroom like half an hour ago. He didn't come out of the bathroom? Well, I didn't see him go in the bathroom. He just fucking bolted. It's crazy. Yeah, you sons of bitches. I'll see you later, suckers. And they're gone.
He takes a bar rag with him on the way out. I'm keeping this.
This is mine now. Mine's. But it's a love-hate relationship. It's an industry that you get sucked into, and it's not for everybody, but it can be great, and you give up a lot because of it, but at the same time, you don't want to do anything else. It's tough. It's a tough thing, but oh my gosh, I've had some crazy shit happen. Crazy stuff happen.
It's like I told Pat, my old boss's wife, after Gary passed away. We were at his funeral, and we had a group of chefs that we were known as the Three Musketeers, and that was me, my friend Eddie, and Bruce. And because we were always together, we were always doing stuff together. And we were sitting there, talking, and this was, I think, 2005. And Pat was like, "Do you ever think about getting back into it?" Because after I left working for Gary and Pat, I went to work at Turf Paradise Racecourse in Avondale, just outside of Phoenix, and absolutely hated it. There is absolute disaster. But I looked at her and I said, "No." I said, "But the funny thing is, I realize now," and mind you, this is 10 years later. Mm-hmm. I said, "I realize now how much I really liked it." I said, because I don't want to go back, but I really miss doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a love-hate thing for sure. And it's thankless at many times, and one of the things that bothers me, and it's like I've said, is it can be a thankless industry, but you also have a lot of people that are willing to take the thanks that don't deserve it too. And that always irked me.
Yep.
I never liked that. I never liked the fact that you can get all these thank yous and not pass along the love to the guys that are back in the back too. I've seen that, and I just don't like it. I just never liked it. But me, when my boss passed away, it wasn't my boss at the time, and the new owner had bought the place, but I was still in contact with the old owner. He would call me up and give me some opinion, ask my opinion on things. And it was funny. He always he never trusted anybody till he trusted them. Right. So he would open up a new restaurant, and then I would get a phone call, and he'd be like, "Hey, Trav, let me ask you," he's like, "what would you do here? Or what about this product? Or where would you order that?" And I knew what he was doing. He trusted me. And he was checking the new guy. You know what I mean? So, one of the things one of the things that got me when he passed away was when all his friends came into town, and then we had the funeral and the viewing and whatnot. And I had so many people come up to me and say, "He thought so highly of you, and he trusted you." And that got me every time. I started to cry every time. You know what I mean? Because he was such a tough guy. Then, not that I knew he appreciated me, and I knew he liked me, and we worked together for a decade. And we had some nasty arguments, and I almost quit, and he almost fired me a couple times, and that's what it is. But to hear that after his passing, people just walking up to you straight and being like, "I'm sorry for the loss," and he really thought highly of you, and that was tough to hear, but it was awesome to hear too.
Yeah, that's that's one of the things when we were at Gary's funeral. Is Pat had said to Bruce, Eddie, and myself, she's like, of all the people Gary's had work for him, she said, "I knew you three would show up." Mm-hmm. And it was funny because literally, there were people who couldn't show up that, sent their condolences and that. And,
right.
But, the fact that, I think about how tight the crews were in Phoenix, everybody knew everybody. We all did things together, and, of the 3 restaurants and the 2 little nook places, the only people that showed up, for Gary's funeral out in San Diego were myself and Eddie and Bruce and Kayla, one of our waitresses, and nobody else. I mean, and most of them still lived in Phoenix. And San Diego's only 6-hour drive. So it's not like it would be that tough to actually go out there for the funeral. But yeah, nobody showed up.
Yeah.
As more people from Massachusetts showed up than from his places that he had in Texas and his places that he had in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of pissed me off. So
yeah, it's tough. I expect upwards of 3 people to be at my funeral, so I'm not expecting much.
Yeah, don't worry. Well, you're going to have 3 more than me. So
maybe we can get a deal on a funeral if we die the same weekend.
Yeah, I'm not having a funeral. I'm getting stuffed into a pine box, run through the big fiery oven, and that will just be my pre-introduction to my destination. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they dry rub you first.
That's true. Yeah, right.
With me, they're just going to worry about the grease fire. So
TPC is going to have the weirdest will ever. He's going to have a recipe for his brine in it, so they know how to brine him beforehand. Do a nice dry rub, possibly vacuum seal it to really get that dry rub to soak in.
I'm just going to leave a copy of my cookbook, How to Treat Fatty Meats.
Yeah, I saw. Did you guys ever see the Instagram post of the guy that recorded himself, and they played it at his funeral when they put the casket into the ground? And it was him pretending to be in the casket.
Yes.
To make everybody laugh. It was
fucking awesome.
He was Scottish or Irish or something. He had an accent. And he was like, "Let me out. What are you doing out there? Get me out of this damn thing." He's like, "What? I can hear you out there. I can hear you." It was pretty funny. And I was like, good for him for figuring out a way to make it not so rough for people. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that at all. A lot of people would say that's inappropriate and blah, 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 but screw that,
No, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, "I can hear you out there." It's funny.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, TBC. Just burn me up. Put me in a jar in somebody's closet and forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told my wife when I go, don't tell anybody. Just get me cremated. Take my ashes over to where my father's at, Fort Custer National Cemetery, and and just drop me off there. I'll bleed into the ground. So
yeah. So like my mom, she was cremated, and her wishes were to spread her ashes around the campfire up at the cabin and on her flower garden.
Oh, shit.
And
God damn it.
And have nothing but a big ass party.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to George?
I don't know. It sounded like a squirrel attacked him or something.
Squirrel!
God damn it. Oh, son of a bitch. And he took off. God damn
Squirrel
ran up
grabbed
his
him by
pant
the
leg.
nuts.
Yeah, ran up his pant leg. Oh, son of a bitch. One of those Texas squirrels. Oh, he must have had his fill. He's back. This squirrel must have ate his fill. Yeah.
Okay, George.
Okay, what was that?
What the hell happened? We want to see if we were right.
I pressed the wrong button because I was trying to show what I wanted at my funeral. I don't know if you could see it. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
That's what I wanted at my funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Arnold? Nice.
That's all. It's from Terminator 3.
Yeah.
He's holding a casket. He's supposed to be Sarah Connor's casket. It's all full of guns and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Little minigun action.
No, we did hear you on the exit. It sounded like you're being molested by a rabid possum and You were swearing.
Son of a bitch.
Dang phone, man, is so dang sensitive. I hate smartphones, man. They have to always be sensitive. And you try to like fix the settings, so when you accidentally touch something, it doesn't do anything. No, you touch something, it doesn't want to do it. You barely touch something, and it accesses it. It starts loading up something. That's why sometimes I hate smartphones.
It was pretty funny though. Thanks for the break.
No problem, man.
Son of a bitch.
Dang it.
That's what makes
Just
live
glad
chat so fun.
I'm just glad I didn't do it in Night Strikes chat. He tries to keep it PG-13 and stuff.
Well, until he starts throwing it around.
Well, when he starts, that's his show.
It's okay when I do it.
It's okay when I do it, but when you guys say it, I don't want to hear it.
I wonder if he microwaved those Wagyu beef patties that he bought.
Oh my God! Would he buy some Wagyu burgers?
Oh, he was talking on somebody's chat the other night. He said he bought some. He was asking, how should I cook these up?
Oh Jesus!
And I said in the text chat, I goes, if you'd watch Moo and Barbecue on Saturday night, you'd probably get that answered.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't have our email.
It's like some smart ass comment, and then
he probably just boiled them.
That's what I should have said. Just boil them in.
This thing suck, man. What'd you do? I boiled them in a saucepan of water. Dude, they're not hot dogs.
I heard you're supposed to poach things to keep them tender, so I poached these here burgers.
Yeah, just throw them in the water, rolling bowl.
Owlcat Rob says if he got it at Walmart, he got robbed. I saw an Instagram post of some steaks and stuff at Walmart that had like the little anti-theft things on them.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Who the hell's out here stealing steaks from fucking Walmart?" I was like, "You'd probably be surprised." You get, especially what the costs are now. I mean, you buy 2 ribeyes, you could be sunk like $45.
Mm.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
my brother when my brother does get-togethers and stuff, sometimes he barbecues. He goes to Sam's Club, and they'll get ribeyes there and baked potatoes and stuff. Man, the baked potatoes are huge, man. When they get them from there, they get the big suckers, man, and it comes out pretty good, because my brother barbecues pretty good, man. Sometimes better than the restaurant,
We ran to the grocery store the other day to grab something, and we were in a hurry, and I didn't stop to see what the price was or ask what the price was. The price wasn't on it, but I passed the meat counter, and they had this monster tomahawk in the case. And I bet you the steak alone on that thing was probably 18 ounces or more.
Wow.
Well, it's probably 18 or 20 ounces without the bone.
Oh.
That bone was probably another fucking, who knows, 2 pounds,
2 pounds,
2.5 pounds. I
saw a video on Instagram where somebody was they just cooked the tomahawk, right? And then as soon as they take it out to the plate, they cut the bone off. They cut the bone out, and they put the steak part in the plate. And dang, that steak was big. I mean, like holy crap, it was bigger than the plate.
Yeah, they have to be so big because they try and make them as wide as the bone, so it doesn't look weird. But I mean, I'll be 100% honest. I've never ordered a tomahawk. I never will order a tomahawk. It's an awful lot of money that I don't.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a restaurant here that we had gone to in town and stuff. We're celebrating my parents' wedding anniversary. It was about about a couple years ago. And I remember they said, "Yeah, they got a tomahawk here." Well, how much is it? It's $75. It's like holy crap! Does it come with anything else like sides? It says like little potatoes, and that's it. It doesn't come with a lot of sides. So you're basically paying for the whole, tomahawk.
Salt. Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at something like that, and the cost is like $35, $40, you know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough to make, and your percentage on it sucks. But I'm not a percentage person. I'm a profit person. So, if I can, even if your percentage sucks on something like that, if you can still make $25 off of it or $30 off of it, it's still more than you're making on any of your other entrees, so, I'm happy with that. But yeah, I've never run a tomahawk. I've never had it on the menu. I've run them a couple times just to run them, but I usually only order like 3 of them or something. But to have it on the menu, I've never wanted to push it. And I've had, American Wagyu on the menu at like $65, and I sold that, but I was never willing to risk a tomahawk. I just didn't have a market for it. We sold a ribeye at the time, so it was like, I it was always weird saying like, well, we have a ribeye on the menu, or you could order a tomahawk, and it's like nobody was willing to do it. They were like, no thanks, keep the bone. It's tough.
I was watching one yesterday. Had double bone tomahawk.
Oh yeah, that must have been
3.5 inch thick.
I was gonna say like a 32 ouncer or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, something crazy.
Feeds a family of 12.
Yeah, it's like the old 96er from the Great Outdoors.
Hey, there's still some gristle.
Yeah, I'm done. No, there's still some gristle, some fat and gristle. Yeah.
Dang.
The old 96er. So, let's see. I'll tell you what, I'll be 100% honest, man. I was looking for some articles for about a half an hour, and it was hard to find anything that was worth a damn. With what's going on in Afghanistan, that clusterfuck.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably everything because of Afghanistan. It's quiet.
And everything most of what I pulled up, I'm just like, doesn't really compare to what the hell's going on.
Also the thing with Tula.
Yeah.
The Tula ammo.
Yeah.
Oh, the Russian,
the Russian ammo ban and stuff. That's also a lot of talk right now.
Yeah, that's.
You can talk about Spicy Friday not being so spicy.
Oh yeah, well that's true. Yeah, I did poke the bear a little bit.
Poke the bear.
That was good though.
Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, here, I'll just pull up my Instagram here. So, oops, what are we doing here?
I just commented on that.
If you pull up on Instagram, yeah, the corn one. So the Johnny B posted this, and I thought he was I thought it was screamed of douchebaggery. I didn't like it. It was the day of or the day after, and I just didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. I thought it was in bad taste, and I didn't think it was all that funny with what's going on. I said maybe if you think people desperate enough to cling to aircraft taking off is good fodder for jokes, fuck you. P.S. Spicy Friday ain't spicy.
Yeah, Matt went crazy on Mr. Guns and Gear because he had a video and stuff. And I tried looking for the video, and I guess the guy deleted it or YouTube deleted it or something because it wasn't up anymore.
It was Twitter banning it.
Yeah, and so I also left a comment. Then he did Spicy Friday, and of course this was the last thing he showed. And he said, I forget how I forget how he said it, but he's like, yeah, somebody over on Instagram said that I shouldn't post it or something. But I was like, I'll do it anyway. And I was like, you motherfucker, you couldn't even give me a plug. Son of a bitch couldn't even say my name. But so I commented under that video. I was like, oh yeah, good one. People dying is hilarious, huh? I was like, I can't wait till next week's meme about the people jumping off the World Trade Center. And nobody even took the bait on that one. I thought for sure I'd have some people pissed off at that one, but no. I was a little disappointed actually. And then what was this one? I forget. Oh, this did come in. This did come in underneath when I posted that under his video. He said, "A true hero. Thank you for your service." I'm sure he's crying right now. I said, "You're welcome. Do what I can do, but I can't stay."
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
I got a flaming bus full of nuns and puppies to stop from crashing off a cliff. So I did some shit stirring. I should have tagged him in this and said it was him and Mr. Guns and Gear. Oh man, this one actually got quite a bit of traction. Actually,
Ray says, "Quit judging me."
Yeah, quit judging me. Yeah, yeah. I said, "Oh my God, you're anti-gun now?" He said, He said, I guess so, because this is how I eat corn. He said, in Oklahoma style, you need to eat corn buddy style, huh?
Oh, he cracked me up.
Yeah. So I was pretty proud of that one. That one had had like 42 likes. I don't know how many views it had because they don't show you the goddamn views anymore. But I had a whole bunch. I had a good amount of likes on it, and then a lot of them were from just random people. So that was kind of fun.
Oh, somebody was saying they're going to tag DM Foss in it because it looks like Foss in that photo.
It's Foss and Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a mean court chucking right there.
Oops. Let's see if Ted Nugent pops up. No, I forget what his. Hey, it's Foss and Ted Nugent. All right. So let me get off of this here. One of the articles I did find was lawmakers say firearm owners ID breach, another reason to get rid of a law. So I guess I know we talked about one. I don't know if this is the same one, but we talked about this a couple weeks ago. This happened to some extent. And this one says, while Illinois State Police say they're on top of a breach involving the information of gun owners around the state, some at the State House say it's time to end the firearms owners identification card program.
Mm-hmm.
So it says 2,000 people's information may have been accessed, and those people have been notified. Nobody wants to be on this database as a gun owner, and if somebody gets a hold of it, certainly that can lead to crime and criminals finding access to more guns. It's just not the right thing to do. They may have a hold of it now, but they didn't have a hold of it before, and this could happen again. Pink says Roro is actually coming up from the back to eat that corn. He's just using those two guys as corn ear holders. So, I know we talked about this kind of stuff before too. They've tried to do it with cops in the past, where they leak the addresses of police officers and gun owners. And Ozzy says he didn't get the notification. So here's that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, okay. So this week in the United Kingdom is a bunch of D-bags. Plymouth mass shooting, UK to check gun owners' social media after gunman kills 5. So this was in the United Kingdom. It says police in the United Kingdom will now check the social media profiles of applicants for gun licenses after a man killed 5 people in southwestern city of Plymouth last week. Said Jake Davidson posted on his Facebook and YouTube accounts about his sympathy for the misogynist incel movement linked to previous violent attacks in the United States and Canada. The UK government has asked police forces in England and Wales to review their procedures for issuing and returning firearm licenses, as well as assessing whether it is necessary to revoke any licenses already issued. So we're getting into that minority report territory where it's like, well, we think you're going to do something bad.
So we're going to
we're gonna start yanking stuff from you and causing trouble and locking you up possibly. So there's a very fine line there between stopping somebody from committing a crime and just ruining somebody's life.
Skipping the due process.
That's just bitching on online, about something. I don't know. It's tough, man.
I feel like they're just trying to cover themselves at this point because it came out that they gave him back his gun license in that country.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what they meant up there by reissuing and and not returning firearms and stuff like that. Yeah. This is another one that's been a topic of conversation, but a lot of people kind of blow it off a little bit, and I don't think we should be blowing it off. I think you got to be really careful with this one. It says feds bust rapper for being marijuana user in possession of a firearm. It is not illegal under the state law in Michigan to smoke pot. In fact, recreational marijuana has been legal in the state since 2018. Under federal law, however, toking up is still a crime. And the Biden administration is now charging a 19-year-old Detroit rapper who goes by the name Lil Mello with being a marijuana user in possession of a firearm after he was busted with a gun outside a Detroit home earlier this week. According to the Detroit News, his potential time in the big house stems from a raid on a home in Detroit on Tuesday. While Detroit police were entering the home, one officer spotted the 19-year-old, whose real name is Romello Johnson, stepping out of a car. The officer peered inside the vehicle and allegedly spotted a magazine and the butt of a pistol sticking out of a brown paper bag. Officers were familiar with Johnson from previous contacts and knew he was 19 and ineligible to obtain a concealed pistol license. According to court filings, he was arrested and investigators recovered a Glock pistol from the car painted with a distinctive American flag design. Another flourish linked Johnson with the firearm. Johnson has a distinctive tattoo under his left eye. On Wednesday, investigators started watching YouTube rap videos starring Johnson, whose tattoo is visible along with what appeared to be a Glock pistol tucked in his waistband. In one video, so this is a little disingenuous because he wasn't allowed to have. Apparently, he wasn't allowed to have the gun to begin with. So, but I don't understand why they would be charging him not for illegally carrying it, just for having it. It's a little bit weird. ATF agents interviewed Johnson on Wednesday and admitted smoking marijuana every day since he was 14 and that he brandished the Glock pistol in music videos in Detroit, according to a court filing. Johnson stated he has free and ready access to the subject firearm anytime he wants to possess it. The ATF agent wrote, Johnson denied owning the firearm. Johnson is separately facing charges in Vegas stemming from the armed robbery of a marijuana dealer. Johnson is accused of stealing a firearm from the reported victim. As someone who would see the federal prohibition of cannabis rescinded, and as someone who's written quite a bit about the conflict between state and federal drug and gun laws, I have to admit here isn't exactly helping me build my case as to why the law should be changed. Yeah, so even the writer here is saying like, okay, this is a bad test case for this, but then again, given the charges that Mr. Young Johnson is facing in Nevada, one could argue that his issues are a little bigger than simply sparking up while also having access to a gun. Still, you don't have to be accused of robbery to face stiff penalties for possessing a firearm while being an unlawful drug user. All it really takes is for someone to admitting to smoke pot, even in a state where its use is legal, after you've been caught with a gun, even one that's legally owned.
Well, didn't it say it was a stolen handgun?
Well, they said he stole a handgun. They didn't say that was the one he stole per se.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's a bad dude. Him and Corn Pop are bad dudes for sure. But that doesn't negate the fact that they are actively trying. They're willing to charge people with drug charges while carrying a firearm for marijuana, and that's scary because there's an awful lot of people out there with medicinal marijuana cards that are legal firearms users, and is this the first step, or is this the first little, the little first step to Biden one day writing something that says, oh, if you have a marijuana card, you cannot own a firearm, or you cannot purchase a firearm?
I know they're trying to do that in Hawaii.
Really?
Anyone who had a municipal, like a marijuana card or something that, they didn't want them owning a firearm. That they said, nope, no. But this was a couple years ago.
I know it's been talked about a bunch of times, but
yeah,
I haven't necessarily heard of anybody catching those charges, and having the government say like, well, yeah, I mean, you're not allowed to if you're a prohibited user, and federally you're a prohibited user.
Yeah, especially like in this case where they say that, it is legal to have, recreational or municipal,
right.
Marijuana and stuff, and it doesn't say there that you can't have a firearm, but sometimes law enforcement or whoever, the government, they make their little rules like, well, you do marijuana, you shouldn't own a fire, you shouldn't own a firearm, because you could be smoking and then go crazy and start shooting people and stuff. That's what they always use as an example is why they don't want it. Want you to own a gun if you're doing marijuana.
Scott out there says, I believe they're doing that in California, denying people if they have a marijuana card. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. I'll have to try and look it up, because it's an interesting interesting turn of events for the whole medical marijuana situation.
And that's something that some people need and stuff, and I don't see why it has anything to do, for them owning a firearm, stuff, because it's not like they're going to be smoking and then they're going to be shooting at the moon, at the middle of the night, like, I'm going to shoot the moon, come on, dude, that's not going to happen. The only thing that people should fear, if the guy goes to the neighbors and raids their refrigerator, their food and stuff.
And I know the fuzzy line of this is that the state allows it and the federal doesn't. But at the same time, so it's hard to argue it. It really is, because you can say like, well, if you have a prescription for Percocet for pain and you take 2 Percocets a day because you got a jacked up back, you can still own a firearm. But that's not federally. That it's got medicinal use at the federal level, and marijuana doesn't, I guess. So I guess that's where you got to look at it. So it's hard to it's hard to make that argument, but at the same time, that's the exact argument that needs to be made. Is somewhere along the line somebody has said, yes, you should be able to use marijuana medicinally. And I know a lot of people break, they're bullshitting and whatever, but I do think there are legitimate reasons that people can use marijuana or in pill form or whatever for pain and nausea and to help them eat. I mean, it helps. It helps with that. So at some point there needs to be some decision made, because they're sitting in this gray area, and hopefully if they make a decision, it's in our favor, where that, if you have a marijuana card, you can still have a permit, because I think that's the right thing to do. The scary part is you got shit for brains in office, and at this point, I don't trust him not to just say, somebody get in his ear and be like, hey, 4473 says this. And he goes, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, if you have a marijuana card, then you can't pass a 4473. Denied. And it's just one day it's like that because somebody told him in his ear that that it should be
legal. Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, Colorado already does it with concealed carry licenses and stuff like that. If you have a weed card, you can't get a concealed carry licenence. Or a stripper concealed carry license, yeah. Because that's Honda, and I got into that one time.
You said Colorado?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember I was reading on Facebook one time in a group, where this lady was saying, "Oh, my daughter has I guess she has like spasms or something that it was uncontrollable.
Seizures.
And they were saying you can use seizures, and she was going like, yeah, you can do you can get medicinal marijuana, but it was not the kind you smoke and stuff. It's just the medical part of it. And the lady was like, "Oh, I'm so against that. I can't see an under teenager smoking a doobie, stuff." He goes, "No. You're misunderstanding me. They take the narcotic part out of it, and they give you the healing oil. So that way,
Yeah, CBD.
The CBD. So you what they call it. You'll get the medical effect of it, and it'll help." But the lady was like, "Oh my God, my daughter's going to be smoking joints."
I saw an interview. I think it was Rogan, but I'm not sure. And it was Jesse Ventura. And Jesse Ventura is a crazy son of a bitch for sure. That dude's wild. I won't deny that. But he's a super pro medicinal marijuana and CBD. And he saw him in an interview. That interview was telling a story about a friend of his whose child was epileptic, I believe, and had seizures, and the medicine that they were on wasn't doing it, and they switched over to CBD or whatever they switched over to. I don't remember exactly what it was, and it helped, and they almost stopped, I guess, to some point, or did stop. I don't remember. Now, like I say, Jesse's a he's a character, but if that's true, it's really hard. If you would see something like that happen, or when you see somebody take it for pain and it helps, it's hard to deny it. It's hard to not then have your mind changed and and look at things a little differently.
Yeah, I'd seen a documentary where they were talking about some football athletes that that they either retired because they're in so much pain and stuff like that they got tired of just taking pills and pills and pills, and
Right.
sometimes it works and it didn't. So they started doing municipal marijuana stuff, and they were doing that kind that I guess like Honda does. Like if you ever see Honda, like he has that bag and he lights it up and he sucks in the vapor or whatever, the smoke or something. They do something like that, and the pain goes away. And they're saying that they can walk with no pain. That they don't seem to be like when you're drugged up on so many painkillers that you feel like you're all numb. You're all kind of like groggy and stuff. This actually didn't give them that, and they said this helps. But some people, like said, they are against it because they think like, oh, well, he's doing marijuana. That's bad. And stuff. They don't see the healing parts of it. They see the narcotic part.
Yeah. So I had another article that was about hunting and stuff, but I think I'm just going to go through some Instagram stuff, and do some Instagram stuff that's some of the things I have saved are Afghanistan and Biden based, so we can watch that kind of stuff anyway and talk about it, I'm sure. It's a mess over there, and I'm when I heard his first speech, and I loathed that speech. It was just disingenuous and canned and annoying and just bothersome. The only thing he said in that whole speech that I thought really that actually made me think a little bit twice was when he said like, oh, if the Afghanis aren't willing to fight for themselves, why should we be over there fighting for them? And to some extent, I guess that could be true, but the manner in which this evacuation happened, or lack of evacuation happened, is embarrassing at the very least, and shameful. I was texting, I don't know if Ghost is still out there. I was texting back and forth with Ghost the other day, and he had put that video out with Chris Tonto Pronto with Chris Pronto with some outtakes when he was on the show, and I texted Ghost and I was like, man, I bet you Chris has some pretty interesting thoughts on what the fuck's going on out there over there in Afghanistan. And he was like, oh yeah. So it's pretty it's a damn mess, and it's sad, and it's like I said, it's shameful.
Yeah, no, Biden cracked me up, man, because they were asking questions, like ABC News. And then one of the guys telling him, "Oh, what do you think that this was good and stuff like that?" Says, "Hey, that happened about a couple of days ago."
4 to 5 days. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, so what does that matter?
George Stephanopoulos.
George Stephanopoulos. He was the one that
was like, "Oh, that was like 4 or 5 days ago," and it was like, that was 2 days ago, man, or whatever.
Dude, it doesn't matter, man. You guys screwed up.
Yeah. So I've got some clips in here, and I'm sure that'll come up here. We can talk about it a little bit more. Let me make sure that I did audio too, because I'm notorious for forgetting that shit. I always like to do it twice. So this was kind of interesting. It says, is gun ownership increasing in Australia? Australians now own more guns in total than they did before the 1996 crackdown, according to figures. But gun ownership per capita has dropped by 23%. In the past 30 years, the number of households with at least one gun has declined by 75%. I've seen a lot of claims flying around about guns in Australia. Let's clear that up right now. First of all, not all guns were turned in after 96. That's an anti-gun narrative that I oddly see parroted by pro-gun people. 650,000 were turned in then. There are 3 million registered. Still quite a few great market guns floating around. 37,000 were registered in 2017. And 20,000 taken out of circulation. 57,000 altogether. Of that, only 2,417 were semi-autos. So there's less households have them, but the households that do have them have more than they've had in years past.
Wow.
Hey, John, what's going on out there, buddy? 2 Live Movie, you'll appreciate this one. I saw this today, and I was like, ugh, made me cringe. He goes into the turn, or he's coming into a turn, and he grabs a little bit too much front brake, and the rear wheel comes up.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's only got braking on the rear wheel, or the front wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty amazing. I kept waiting for him to go over the to go over the handlebars, and he goes into this turn one-wheeled for like a long time.
That's when it needs that like a boss soundtrack in the background.
Yeah, and he starts to get squirrely, and just rides the squirrel the whole way around. It's pretty awesome to see.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, that made me like. Whew.
Yep. They gave you tinglies where you don't normally get tinglies.
Yeah.
This says Hillary Clinton catches Bill staring at Melania Trump. Just look at her face.
Oh no, he didn't.
Hold up, Melania, so good. I think she's better than Monica.
I don't know if that's actually who he's looking at, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Maybe Bill was looking at this. Maybe this is what caught his attention.
Yeah.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Oh my God.
Oh, here's Billy.
But I've learned one thing since I've decided to run for president, and I assume one thing. Everything about me is going to come out in the public record. And
Oh, boy, are those words truer now than ever, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
I've done some dumb things as a senator, done some dumb things as a lawyer. But what I haven't done, and I suggest to you, is a matter of my character. Go ask anyone with whom I ever practiced law, opponent or friend. Ask any of my colleagues, anyone, opponent or friend. Ask anyone whenever whom I've had a relationship with. If they tell you Joe Biden is not as straight as an arrow, I'll be very surprised.
Just wait till I have kids.
Yeah. Now those little son bitches over there, he's like pointing to his kids. Those son bitches better stay out. So, first of all, every time I hear anybody say Blinken, I think of Robin Hood Men in Tights because this guy's name is Abe Lincoln. Hey, did you say Abe Lincoln? No, I said, hey, Blinken.
Hey, Blinken.
It's Blumpkin the Pumpkin.
Hey, yeah, it's Tony Blumpkin. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, man, there isn't an interview with one of these sons of bitches in Biden's team that's good. They all are super cringy and just like, ugh.
Someone in our audience might listen to you, Mr. Secretary, and say, oh, so we have to ask the Taliban for permission for American citizens to leave. True or not true?
They are in control of Kabul. That is the reality. That's the reality that we have to deal with.
How comfortable are you with that, Mr. Secretary?
What I'm focused on, what we're all focused on, is getting people out and making sure that we're doing everything possible to do that. And in this case, it is, I think, a requirement of the job to be in contact with the Taliban, which controls Kabul.
But so John says, by the way, how is a 165 grain semi-wad cutter soft cast 38 for self-defense? In my opinion, which is worth nothing and maybe even less than nothing, I think in normal situations that would be fine. I think I'm sure you do okay with that. They're not necessarily going to probably mushroom well. Sometimes they just sort of flatten out and sort of round off, or tumble. They might want to spin on you a little bit, which isn't necessarily horrible either. But I will say this, the soft lead, if they're wearing, in the wintertime, maybe heavy jacket, heavy this, leather jacket or something, might not get great penetration. But I don't know if it's all you got. I mean, I would, if that was my only option, I mean, I'd carry it, I guess. I guess the question is, why are you thinking about carrying something like that? Is there a reason? Because it is a little odd to shoot for that, He says that's better than what the lower velocity hollow points do. Yeah, and I guess there's a the school of thought could be, bigger and heavier versus lighter and faster. If you go to 100 and what is a light 38, 115 grain, 110 grain, I think it is. I think Hornady runs 110 grain critical defense. That's going to be a little faster and might want to open up a little bit better, because it's moving a little quicker. I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't know. I think there's so much personal gut feeling that goes into that,
I also urge them to engage in diplomacy, to seek a political settlement with the Taliban. This advice was flatly refused. Mr. Ghani is...
I told the Taliban that they should do this, that, and the other thing, and they basically told me to get fucked. That's the gist of it.
The Afghan forces would fight, but obviously he was wrong.
They told me to get bent.
Well, apparently that Blinken guy actually told everybody to get fucked because it came out that there was intel that he just straight up ignored about the takeover.
I think a lot of people ignored a lot of shit and did what the hell they did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a hard situation, man. Do you want to be there? No. Do we want to have troops and money spent there and this, that, and the other thing? No. Do you want to get everybody out? Yes, that would be awesome. But you can't lie and say like, oh, well, we didn't know the Taliban would take back over, or we thought they would. We didn't think they would do it that fast or at all. Like, what are you, fucking stupid? Of course they were gonna. That's what I mean. They're gonna take the country back. That's what they've been waiting for, the chance to do. Like, I don't get it. So this weekend, Karen the Instigator. So this is tough. This is tough because you should never hit a lady. Don't put your hands on women. But man, some women just want to start shit. Oh, he's like, Pow. And he lays that dude out. That guy's done for.
Oh, he's out for the count.
Oh yeah, he's way done. Oh, he's waking back up. What happened? Where are we at a soccer match? What's going on here? Is this water polo? What are we watching here?
Is the movie over?
Yeah, is the movie over?
What did I miss?
Everybody's leaving.
Man, I don't know where this is. I guess this is Russian because that's some crazy fucking letters up there.
He's kicking the tractor.
There's some crazy shit that goes on in Russia.
Comrade, no, comrade. Don't be doing that, comrade. You. Oh,
get off my lawn.
Yeah. Flips that son bitch over. John says, yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, some revolvers will crack the cone with lighter bullets over time, and mine is fixed sights with a painted front for quicker acquisition of sights. So I thought this was kind of funny. It says, shout out to everyone who can still remember their childhood phone number but can't remember the password they created yesterday. You are my people. How many phone numbers can you remember?
I can only remember like maybe 2 or 3.
I can remember 4.
I can remember my very home number and my grandmother's home number.
Me too. I mean, right now as I sit off the top of my head, I can remember my old phone number, my grandfather's phone number, my wife's phone number, and mine. I think that might be it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can. Yeah. Yeah, I know my wife and my kids' phone numbers, but from when I was a kid, 648-3518 was my home.
Back in the day, what I used to do is I used to get like, if you ever get a business card and you know how the back will be blank. So I would write down all the numbers down, my friends' numbers, relatives or whoever I needed to call, stuff like that, emergency and stuff. And then when cell phones came about, you save the numbers, and that kind of like makes you like, oh, well, I don't have to memorize it because I have it on the phone.
3082 was my grandmother. Good thing I don't use any of these numbers for any of my pins or anything.
Yeah, right. Foss is out there, and I think he might have tagged me in this one.
Was it corn?
Who was it corn?
Oh, was he going to slip? Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's where he wants those chiclet teeth.
You just hear him go,
oh, boy. I can feel that.
Yeah,
he's going to have a headache in the morning.
He hits hard as shit. I love this one. This is funny. My girlfriend dumped me, so I stole her wheelchair. Guess who came crawling back?
Way to go, Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
You're taking a thin boat to Tuna Town.
Here's 2 Live Moo with his he was out drinking on the boat again.
Oh, you can make it. Oh, there you go. Come on, keep going, buddy. You can do it.
Oh my God!
You can hear it when the prop hits the other boat. And it's
Yeah.
like, crazy.
I was out in the boat this weekend too. I'm surprised I got that online so fast.
Yeah, well, instant shit now. Dad joke. My wife screamed.
It was your daughter getting back at you, Moo, for all the other jokes you talk about her about hitting the mailbox.
Right.
So she got you back.
My wife screamed, "You haven't listened to a single word I've said, have you?" I was taken aback. What a weird way to start a conversation. my dog teaching my girlfriend how the squeaker works. Here's what you got to do. You got to go like this. You got to jump on it. Yeah, you got to jump. Do like that. Do like that. This was put out by Sticker Mule. I'm not sure whose sticker this is, but it's a sticker of apparently they're cutting farts. I don't know.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that looks like a cut and a fart emoji. Oh man, I don't even understand what they were going for with this. So if you guys understand what they're trying to go for here, explain it to me, because this is weird. Like
adoption versus abortion.
Yeah, but when you take out the D and the P, or you put the D and the P in there, it's a Dorpian. It's a Dorpian. I don't understand how they could, and then I was like, okay, well, so that's supposed to be adoption, but it's supposed
they scratched out the wrong letter. Yeah,
they scratched out the wrong letter. But then I started thinking, like, does that mean DP? Like they're talking about DP,
dual penetration.
Yeah, maybe that's a good way to not have abortions or something. I don't know.
The B hole instead of the A hole.
Did you read the top? Did you read the top part? Mom, Mom, was
I adopted?
Dorp.
Yeah.
I think that person should have got that better through before making that shirt.
Speaking of DPs, I don't know what this picture is about, but it looks like a beehole.
That looks like an angry beehole.
It's so mad, so angry.
Oh, I remember that. That's when the music player in your computer, when it used to play music, it would do a screensaver type thing, and it would go with the music and stuff, and you could change it and stuff like that. But it doesn't do that anymore. That's the thing.
I'll go fishing.
Oh my God! Yeah, look at that.
Oh no, thank you. Oh,
on today's episode of Photos You Can Feel. Oh my God! Holy shit!
Yeah, you can't even punch it all the way through and cut the end off.
Yeah, what a mess! What a mess! They're gonna have to take his nail off.
I just leave it
or drill through it. Yeah,
cut it off short.
You just leave it like you put that hook on the cap, on the baseball caps,
Yeah. I didn't know what this was at first, and it says, "Do you guys think this frog has a lifetime warranty?" It's actually a frog that got stuck on the fucking
brick.
Gross.
Rotor.
It's gross. And then when you know what it is, then you can make out its little face there.
Oh,
poor little fella.
Oh, frog lube.
Frog lube. There you go. After checking the math, Coca-Cola's numbers seem to be correct. 15-pack, 3 more cans than 12-pack.
Correct.
Nice. Thanks. We're gonna have Coke at the restaurant. I'll have to call them and make sure that they do our math right too.
Oh, Pepsi guy couldn't sell you, huh?
We didn't even go for Pepsi. Pepsi sucks. We called Coke right away. Here you go. Fill in the blank quick. Sex was going great until Moo.
Dad came home. Sorry, Ma.
That can go so many ways.
Sex was going good until the Shriners came to visit. No, the Shriners. What's the other ones? The Jehovah's Witness.
The Jehovah's Witnesses. Tupperware. Sex was going great until
shit happens.
I was going to say, shit yourself.
All right, your turn.
Sex was going great until I realized I wasn't having it.
Until somebody
ruined
said
it. I ruined it by having it. Did you see this video? They used 2 AKs to jumpstart a car.
Metal on metal.
Remember, don't touch the metal, please. Don't touch metal, or you get shocked.
Can't do that with an aluminum AR.
Speaking of purveyors.
Yep.
What did I just order?
You want some of that pork tenderloin? I know you do.
Looks depressed. It's only $6.
Yeah, it's cheap. $6.30, $6.35.
$6.39 a pound.
I buy a whole bag of those.
Whole bag. Eat some on the way home.
Whole bag of dicks.
There you go.
Someone's hungry.
It's from Step Brothers.
What is this? What's happening? No. I gotta say, I could have called this one. No. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw up.
Is it because we were bad?
No, honey, are you okay?
Why are you calling him honey?
Whose fault is it? Oh, look, I want to fucking know.
Let's cut this shit. It is directly your fault.
Of course it's their fault. They're the two biggest dickheads in the world, and they're living in your house. Sorry, but
Please don't, Brennan. Please don't, Brennan.
Damn, that movie's so awesome, man. You sang so good. You almost took the form of a unicorn.
I don't think I ever heard him say this, but I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome.
It's going to help us out to extricate ourselves. We're like policemen. We're not fighting a war. If we wanted to fight a war in Afghanistan and win it, I could win that war in a week. I just don't want to kill 10 million people. Does that make sense to you? I don't want to kill 10 million people. I have plans on Afghanistan that if I wanted to win that war, Afghanistan would be wiped off the face of the earth. It would be gone. It would be over literally in 10 days. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to go that route. So we're working with Pakistan's going to help us out.
Ozzy says the sex was going great until she woke up. The sex was going great until my mask fell off. Yeah.
Should the Biden administration have had a stronger U.S. military presence for the transition?
Well, first, may I just say that I commend the president for the action that he took. It was strong, it was decisive, and it was the right thing to do.
Okay, Nancy.
We should have been out of Afghanistan a while back. But now we're, unfortunately, one of the possibilities was that it would be in disarray as it is. But that has to be corrected. And it is my understanding from the assurances we have received that the military will be there negotiating with the Taliban for the safe exit of American citizens and friends, people who have helped us, our allies there. And people work in the nonprofit sector, but also not just U.S. NGOs, but those who have worked in Afghan NGOs as well, who would be targets.
And those people, those.
Should the
fucking non-answer bullshit politician assholes. It's a good thing we have the first female vice president speaking out for women's rights in Afghanistan. Sha'Carri Richardson got smoked. She got murdered in her first race back after the suspension. It was like old ladies in wheelchairs that passed her.
Maybe weed is a performance enhancing drug.
You know what? It's not. She obviously wasn't training. She obviously wasn't, on her training program, and that sucks for her. I think she was probably a little bit too busy being famous to train. You know, she was too busy being a poster child for weed, and got her ass dusted.
I think she should have had that hair in a bun. It looked like it was too much drag.
Couldn't, yeah, definitely would help. Back off, or I'll kill yourself. This is an old one, but a good one. I like this one too. After seeing what President Biden has done in the last 8 months, I'd like to personally thank him for not doing anything the last 47 years. Could you imagine if he would have tried to do shit for the past 50 years? We'd be the zombie apocalypse out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he did a couple things. He was behind the whole '94 Sullivan's ban, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did fuck up some stuff.
Also, the crime bill thing is that same time period.
Oh yeah, they swept that under the rug pretty well to get him elected too. So this is from the Babylon Bee. So it's we're not sure where Kamala is right now. The White House announces they've lost Kamala Harris, but they're also not looking for her very hard. let's just leave her lost. It's okay. I hadn't seen her in like days until that little interview she did up there. It was like 2 or 3 days. I hadn't seen nothing from her. It was crazy.
I remember like they were saying something about she was going to go to the border and then she never did, and then she finally was going and stuff. Oh, and stuff.
I was kind of wondering too, was when the Afghanistan thing hit the fan, and Biden was on vacation and Jen Psaki was nowhere to be found. She was on vacation too. And Kamala Harris was nowhere to be found for like 2 days. I hadn't, even media outlets were like, "Oh, we haven't heard anything from Kamala Harris." I was wondering if they had her somewhere trying to prep her on things to take over fucking Joe's job if things went bad and they booted Joe out of office.
Yep.
Harris says she had key role in Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal decision. The vice president confirmed she was the last person in the room before Biden made the decision to move forward with withdrawing U.S. troops. Well, that's not good for her. She probably shouldn't be telling people that.
Mm-hmm.
Said that there's no circumstances where said a moment ago. You said that there's no circumstances where American citizens cannot get to the airport. That doesn't really square with the images we're seeing around the airport, with the reporting on the ground from our colleagues who are describing chaos and violence. Are you saying unequivocally that any American who wants to get to the airport is getting there and getting past the security barrier and to the planes where they want to go?
I thought the question was, how can they get through to the airport outside the airport? And the answer is, to the best of our knowledge, the Taliban checkpoints, they are letting through people showing American passports. Now, that's a different question when they get in the rush and crowd of all the folks just outside the wall near the airport. That's why we had to, I guess, was it yesterday or the day before? We went over the wall and brought in, how many? 169 Americans.
You said a moment ago. You said that there's no
When 340,000 Brits were trapped at Dunkirk, Churchill sent fishing boats across the channel to rescue them. While 10,000 Americans are trapped in Afghanistan, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin says, "We don't have the capability to go out and collect large numbers of people." All right. Oh, here we go. Okay, everybody, choose a mask, and you automatically gain the powers of the character who wore it. Who are you choosing? George, who are you choosing?
One.
Power Ranger?
Yeah.
All right.
I just went with number one.
Moo.
Michael Myers.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
well,
there we go.
Well, Michael Myers ain't up there,
I
so
was cleaning my mouth. I had to holy shit, I got to put this thing back together. Let's see, who do we have? Iron Man. Oh, Loki?
Black Panther?
Not Batman.
Yeah, fuck Batman. Not Boba, not Batman either. The Mask is pretty cool. Iron Man's pretty cool.
Wolverine.
Black Panther's pretty cool.
Well-
Jason Voorhees,
Well, Jason's, he's got. I mean, you can't kill him.
He's got the
Yeah,
immortality thing, you know.
Jason
Can't
is
kill him.
one of my favorite horror movie killers for sure. Monster movie kind of guy.
And he never speaks, so I'm going with 5.
Okay. Tupperware, what do you think?
And he's very sneaky.
He's so sneaky.
That
Sneaky, sneaky.
I
Jason
was
goes
gonna
to New
say
York.
Wolverine.
Yeah, I was torn with Wolverine
The
too.
thing is, though, because it's instant powers, right? So you'd have either bone or metal claws shoot out of your hand almost immediately. Then, and that seems like it hurt like a bitch, even with the healing factor.
Magneto's pretty cool too. Yeah, Magneto. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I might choose Magneto over the other ones.
Yeah, 'cause you can fly.
Yeah, you can fly. You can use magnetism.
Yeah, you can magnetize your own little boots there and go scooting around in the air, and you can use that even if you don't want to be a superhero. You could use that to make a lot of money at a job.
Okay, I don't know who number 9 is.
Number 9 is Wolverine.
Oh,
it's the classic Wolverine
Yeah.
head mask, but in the movies he never wore it.
Well, what's 4?
4 is Black Panther.
Oh, see, I guess I don't watch cartoons.
Well, that's
here's-
in the Marvel movies.
Here's
The
one.
Black
here's
Panther
one
one
for
is the
you,
Marvel movie.
Here's one for you,
Ooh,
you guys.
where's TPC when you need him?
All them pork butts.
Man,
There's
size.
Guns and Barbecue.
Yeah, he's still. He moved this weekend, so he's still
did he?
unpacking boxes and shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Man, that's a lot of rubbing.
When you do all that rubbing and you need to take a nap, time to relax.
That is genius.
Time to
Yeah.
relax.
You could sling a tarp over that and hang out for like a few days.
Hell yeah. Oh man, dude. I thought for a second they were gonna pull this off.
What the heck was that? Was that an air conditioner?
I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it was probably
Looks like an ice machine or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was an air conditioner
Generator.
first, but it's awful big. Yeah, I don't know. And then I thought maybe it's a washer and a dryer strapped together.
That could be true. That could
See,
be it.
that's the picture you get when Amazon says your delivery's up front.
Yeah. Here's another
Being
tough
it's such a
question,
fun
right?
door.
So it says steak videos. It's like burger maison, or steak au poivre. So the burger maison, I'm not really sure. I didn't look it up, but I think it's basically just like what a patty melt could be if a patty melt was like awesome, because it just looks like grilled like brioche and burger patty. It does look. That looks pretty slamming. We got some caramelized onions on there, a couple different kinds
Is that
of
like
cheese.
a sourdough bread?
It's a sourdough or a brioche. It's probably a brioche, because it's a French thing. It's probably a brioche. So that versus
Yeah, it looks good.
that versus
McDonald's don't have anything on
just a
that.
good old steak up like a New York. That would be in New York because it's half a T-bone. New York au poivre, New York with pepper sauce, black pepper sauce. And it's like, man, you automatically want to go for the steak because it's a steak, right? And you're like, steak's better. But dude, that son of a bitch looks awesome right there. I think I gotta
bet it
go with the
tastes
sandwich. I think I'd have to take the sandwich.
I'm gonna go with steak.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'd go with a sandwich.
Probably because of the carb thing, you know.
Yeah, probably. So I thought this was interesting because everybody always gives Christopher Walken a hard time, and he's awesome. But Christopher Walken attributes his unique, halting speaking style to watching non-native English speakers whom he interacted with as a kid, including his father, hesitate to think of the right English word while speaking English. So they were speaking broken English, and they kept pausing it in words, and he thinks that's where he picked it up at. TPC says Au poivre for sure. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know.
I'm with Midnight on the sandwich.
Yeah,
that burger just looks nice. It's thick. It's a thick burger too.
Rebecca Hazelton says everyone dies one day. Everyone, even wolves, but not books, not words. Words don't die. My son, 3 years old, who is a lot smarter than I am. Jack McGarry says, "Oh, fuck off, Rebecca. He did not say that."
No. I could say that the kid would have said this. He would have repeated the fuck off part because he would have heard his mom say it or his dad say it. I can tell he can repeat.
Me waking up in a tank top is like,
all right out.
all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Look at that. Look, dog. Peekaboo.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I'll take that. I'll take waking up to that every day.
See, that's why we get out of bed really quietly. Just
to see if there's anything cool we don't want to mess up.
Right.
What do you want to do?
So this lawyer, he's a public defender, and the judge wants to have the guy waive his rights to a speedy trial, I guess. So they want to put the trial off because they're so busy. And the guy says, "No, I don't want to do that." And the lawyer says, "No, we don't want to waive those rights. We want it to be set soon."
They have.
I'm not waiting.
All right. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do? I'm not waiting. You want to set up for trial? Set up for trial.
Judge Murphy wants the defendant to waive his right to a speedy trial.
Right, you want to set for doc?
Court schedule's backed up. Weinstock isn't budging, and tensions are mounting.
If I had a rock, I would throw it at you right now. Stop pissing me off. Just sit down. I'll take care of it. I don't need your help.
No, you know what? I'm the public defender. I have a right to be here, and I have a right to stand and represent
sit
my
down.
clients.
If you want to fight, let's go out back, and I'll just beat your ass.
Let's go.
They both head to the hallway behind the courtroom, just out of the view of the court's cameras. Believe it or not, they get into a physical altercation until.
Defender, what do you want to
do? It's this guy's comment says, "When your lawyer don't walk back in and you know you're about to get life over a speeding ticket."
I think that judge got disbarred, if I'm not mistaken.
I've never seen it, but I would imagine that he would probably got in some trouble for it.
There would be consequences.
So these kind of things are popular. And my wife actually mentioned something about this like a week or so ago. She was like, "Oh, there's this weird." I think it was her. She said there's this weird channel where like they just show people like not rearranging, but like organizing their pantry and their this, that, and the other thing. And this is somebody that's doing a video on putting like their laundry stuff into these glass jars.
The heck? They'll make pancakes with that.
Yeah, right. So, and it's that, and then it's they do it with like the little Tide Pod things, and they do it with these are the scent beads. And I'm like in the comment section, I was like, so you take stuff out of a durable, space efficient container and put it into a round glass one. Bold strategy, Cotton. like is this the exact opposite that you would want to do? Like, hey, let's take it out of the plastic container that takes up no space and dump it into a big glass container that's round that takes up more space. Good thinking.
Okay, but
Weird.
they're going to keep that in with the laundry room, right? Because if they're going to
Yeah.
keep it in the kitchen, you know, kids are going to mess with that shit.
I mean, I'm hoping that they keep it in the kitchen so they put it on their cupcakes and shit. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I was still stuck back when somebody's still using dry detergent.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, been there. Been
Okay.
a long time, huh?
Okay, who's messing with Pincus?
Oh, poor Pincus.
It does look like Pincus a little bit. I didn't even think of that. He's like, you don't got no training. You shouldn't have no guns.
I didn't have my coffee this morning.
A couple of days ago, I went and got the 12th booster of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I'm thinking about getting the Moderna as well. Healthy as can be, ready to party, completely maskless, wanna mingle, can't feel my left foot, but let's dance.
Oh, Dad Prather, that he's funny.
Can't feel my left foot, but let's dance. Now, if you've seen this clip, it's the most. This is before the media turned on him. This is before the media and the interviewers and everybody turned on Biden. Now pretty much everybody's talking shit about him. But this was him on vacation still.
Chocolate chip.
What did you, Mr. President? What did you order? Chocolate chip, and everybody's like, ooh, ah, whoa. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I got ice cream.
Get your damn nose out of the dude's ass.
I got ice cream. I had my agent stop the ice cream man.
Ice cream man.
Ice cream man.
Well, it's kind of the same thing when they were giving Trump shit for doing the 2 scoops versus everybody else's 1 scoop.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's actually the complete opposite, because he got 2 scoops. They were ragging on him and trying to make him look like an asshole for some reason. And here it's like Biden gets an ice cream cone and everybody's like, ooh, chocolate chip. That's, oh my God, that's awesome. Get the fuck out of here. You're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, revision 1 submitted. Page 1 is fine. Page 2 is sideways. Resend. You'll figure this out eventually, Daniel. Daniel, eat shit. This looks like a very tense living situation.
Nice. What's the top left one? Surrender?
I guess. This one says top left, I ain't getting involved. Biden is originally from Pennsylvania, correct? Yeah, up there in Scranton. He was there. He only lived there until he was like 8 months old or some shit. Or 8 years old. I'm from Scranton. You lived there for like the first couple years of your life. That doesn't mean you're from there.
Scranton sounds like scaby rash.
Yeah, Scranton's pretty rough. This was funny. It says gaming in the 90s looked so intense. Like this kid in the background's passed out from all the excitement down here. This kid just trying not to shit his pants. This one just had a wet dream looking at whatever Mario he's looking at. Look how excited they look.
Yeah.
Zelda.
So yeah, it's so funny. He's like, oh my God. Sweet mullet. Sweet ginger mullet.
Donkey Kong.
Frogger.
It is exactly the example of the kinds of things you need to do to
This is how woke this son of a bitch is. Listen to this.
counter the she session and turn it into a she covery. It is exactly the example of the kinds of things you need to do to counter the she session and turn it into a she covery.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Eat shit, Danny.
It means you're still dedicated when we had the chance.
What an idiot. This is pretty. It says the tapeworm in my lower intestines clinging on for dear life as I let out 12 fluid ounces of Taco Bell shit at 2 a.m.
Passengers.
This is Moo. This
Oh.
is I imagine this is something that you would do to your boss. It says 20
I-
minutes later. Do you see this one?
Yup.
20 minutes later, my boss checked the security cameras. I visited my boss on my day off. He says, "I'll be right with you." And you hear him laugh. This is indeed a weird flex for an aquarium. Guess who's coming?
Shocker.
Hey, I didn't look into this knife yet, but look at this wild ass knife.
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
the hint. It's a
Pretty old.
carambit,
Yep.
Yeah.
but it's
I've
like
seen one of those.
hinged on the outside. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's cool. Wonder how much that son of a bitch is.
It's to provoke.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Thumbs up.
Yep. I wonder where that kid is now. He's probably 50 now.
Yeah, right.
Biden voters calling Trump.
Hello. Yeah, listen. We fucked up.
Yeah, it did.
You ever see? I don't know if we ever showed this one. I think I might have showed this one before.
Is that Hickok?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
it looks
does
like
look
Hickok
him.
45.
You're lucky he didn't start shooting, blasting holes in that son of a bitch. Standing in front of the mirror, contemplating saying Candyman 5 times just for a little razzle dazzle.
Yeesh.
300 or 3,000 or 30? Which one is it? This guy says definitely 3,000. They look hard as a rock too.
Look expensive.
Yeah.
What my body parts are thinking while cuddling him. I love cuddling. Okay, but when is he gonna touch me? Same, I want to be first. Shut up, we are having a moment with him. Don't worry, I'll get us started. Don't you even dare, I want this to last. Who cares, it's gonna happen sooner or later.
Oh boy. And that son of a bitch came in hot. More from Russia. There's a lot of bad drivers in Russia. Oh, just in case you were wondering, Demi Lovato says that they might identify as trans one day or as a woman when they get older.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Demi, get fucked.
And if you're gonna get fucked, you might want this potato.
Or not.
Boy, they really making Mr. Potato Head real realistic.
Yeah.
Lifelike.
Hey, I never had those parts in my kit.
Probably ate them.
Wow.
When my wife has been in the Bath and Body store for hours, and I'm like, just put the lotion in the basket.
Put the fucking lotion in the basket. No.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Please.
I think I downloaded the wrong Jason Goes to Hell. Is there a Pornhub version out there?
Now that's a reach around.
Dang.
So angry. Nice. Texas. Jorge, tell me you got a pair of these. Check out the new all Croc boots.
No, I don't.
Take my money.
Yeah,
Take
right.
my money.
And all the little it's funny because all the little stickers, not stickers, but the little things here, they're all about Bush Light, Bush beer. Bad day to be a Bush Light.
That'd be like the thing to have like for the nursing community, you know, in the hospitals and doctor's offices.
Yeah. Wife, why does the credit card bill show a one-way ticket to Afghanistan and a cargo ship charter service rental out of Chabahar Seaport? Me. First of all, lower your voice. We're going to get them, boys. We're going in. I think the only reason I saved this is because that's a lot of different flat, dark, earth, olive, brown, tan, greenish color going on that rifle.
Yeah, it's like if they were trying to make it like a camo, you know, effect instead of painting it, you know.
Yeah, there's like five different colored khaki, flat, dark, earth, olive colors on there. It's weird looking.
And the gray.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Whoopi Goldberg.
A friend of mine sent me that one.
She wishes.
It says someone hacked the electronic billboard system in Wilmington, North Carolina yesterday and put this on there on Eastwood Road. Yes, this is real. It's so good. That's brutal. Can you imagine passing that and being like, oh my God.
Chocolate chip.
Ooh. Ah. So the question is, what would you carve this carrot into? And I sure as hell didn't think it was going to go in this direction. I was like, okay. All right. I'm with you so far. I could see where this is going. Oh, wait. Oh. Never mind. It's a giraffe.
Lame.
They're still doing audits of the election. I don't know if it'll ever stop or if anything will ever happen, but they said 15 million votes in 2020 election not accounted for.
Dang.
I don't know what the fuck's ever going to happen with that.
What are they going to do about it? Yeah.
It's just, I mean, and that's the point, right? They drew it out enough that now we don't give a shit anymore, and we're just like threw our hands up and said fuck it. But
yeah, like say like what happens if like they finally, you know, count the votes and then they say, you know what, Trump really did win. Would they give him the office?
I mean,
or would they just say, well, Biden's already in office, so
I guess they would have to. He would be an illegitimate president then. I mean, they'd have to take him out of office, right? I mean, even if it's now, what happens if it's after after the 4 years? You know what I mean? That's what I wonder.
Yeah.
If this goes on forever, and the next election's rolling around, and they find out that Biden didn't really win, then what the fuck do they do? Do you just move on, or do you give it to him for that presidency? I don't fucking know. I guarantee there's nowhere written down something like that happening. What every military vet thinks when they see this, we taught them that. Good trigger discipline for a bunch of sons of bitches.
Good filter.
Yeah. Stop myself there.
Yeah, you did.
I taught him that.
Yeah.
I do that at work all the time.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Next time you're feeling down, remember, life is all about perspective. I have a friend who has sex 2 to 3 times a day, exercises twice a day, and reads 2 books a week. Yet every day he complains about how much he hates prison.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't know what this dude. Man, I don't know what that dude was thinking.
Why did he pose?
Fucking A.
Now he's diabetic.
Bummer. Lost the scimitar. Catch him.
I sneezed.
This is a interesting way to cut. Uses a jigsaw to saw through it. Oh, taters on the floor. That's some sort of batter that decided to leave, forget to put away, and it just proofed all the way out of the box.
Proof is in the pudding.
That's right.
The pearl's in the river.
That sucks.
No, she sneezed.
So it happens when you fart at work. I guarantee those, because I've made shit like this plenty of times. I guarantee that's puff pastry.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Poof.
It used to be.
My brownie.
That's the guy that went to go take a smoke break. Puff pastries.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna pop these in the oven. I'll be right back. I'm gonna have a quick smoke.
Later, motherfucker.
Yeah. An hour later, it's like, hey.
Does that smell funny?
Yeah.
Some motherfucker.
Oh, here, hold on.
Oh shit, that bitch big as a motherfucker. Yo, look at how big that bitch is. It's just nice to win one.
my comment,
shit, that bitch.
Not once. Never.
Newman.
So I saw this and I thought, what a fun way to do, like around Easter time, to do like a chocolate milk or like a spiked chocolate milk or something. Just knock the top of that bunny out. Pour that fucking booze right in there.
Hell yeah.
Bam. I was like, man, that is a delicious idea right there.
And you can eat the container when it's done.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Count me in.
Crayola man shot by wife's boyfriend who was secretly living in their home. So this dude wakes up or whatever, and there's a dude in his house. There's a guy in his house, right? And so it turns out that the wife was cheating on the husband, and the boyfriend was living in the house, and the husband didn't know somehow. And they pulled a gun on him, and they both got shot.
Is that why it says DP again?
Where does it say DP? Oh yeah, there. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's probably how how he got caught. He's like, hold on a second.
Who's that guy back? Oh, dude.
This is for a public service announcement. First of all, bloomin' onions are delicious as long as they're fried long enough. They're awesome.
I agree.
So I got no qualms about that.
However,
they do a nice job of getting lots of breading on this thing. It looks really crispy, crunchy. But when they get to the part where they fry this thing, do not ever try and fry in a pot that's this small. I don't look at that.
Oh no.
That is
disaster waiting to happen.
That is a disaster waiting to happen, for sure. That's the only reason I actually saved this. One, it looks fucking slamming, but like that oil was all the way to the top, man. If it bubbles over and catches fire, that whole thing's going up. You're screwed.
I just want to know how to make one of those. I can make my own.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's really simple. I mean, they make cutters that you can do, but basically you just cut in. You leave the core. You don't cut all the way into the core, and you cut down into it, and then it'll open up like that. But it's connected at the bottom, so it doesn't totally fall apart. And then it's just breading, flour, egg wash. And you can go in and out of it twice, then really make them like heavily breaded, but you don't have to. It just depends on what you want. And so you kind of spread all the petals apart, make sure the egg wash and inside gets all egg washed, and then the same thing with the flour. And then you just drop them in the fryer. You want to use a pot that's about 3 times bigger than this one. Honestly, because it's really dangerous what they're doing there. And that's it. I mean, they're not hard to do. They're kind of time consuming because you got to cut everything by hand and bread them and whatnot. Places like, who is it? Outback Steakhouse is the ones that made them famous, right?
Yeah.
I actually saw an interview with the guy that invented it, or invented the thing. And he was like, and they showed the onions that they use, and they are huge. They're like, bigger than softballs. And he said when they first started doing it, they were selling however many a day, like 100 or 200 or whatever they were selling. And he's like, yeah, we had to cut all of them by hand with a knife until we had a contraption made for us that we could just put them in there and slam it down and it cut them for us. He's like, and that made it a lot easier and nicer. But he said back in the day, we used to cut them all by hand. When your workplace is in chaos, but your shift is over. It does look a little bit like Biden, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You see, they should have like a little ice cream cone laying down there or something. Here's another food tool. This is pretty cool. I've never seen one of these. So that's pork belly, raw bacon or pork belly, same thing. So this is a little gadget that has a blade on it. It's almost like a mandolin, but like you pull it through and it'll strip the skin off of it. Pretty neat little gadget. Probably had somebody make it for him. Here you can see a little bit better what it does.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
How do you sanitize that?
No, well, that's the issue. You can't really, you can wash it or whatever. Awkward family photos. Cat's butt crack.
Eat it, Harvey.
This is funny. A rare photo of Keith Richards holding Betty White.
Where's the cigarette in his hand?
Yeah. He probably gave it to the kid that ate it. Here's another one that popped up, and I was check this guy out.
Jesus.
I don't know how he held on to that one either. Just instinct,
man.
Just having like the instinct to your body, your muscles know what to do when you feel something. Crazy.
Yeah. Shifting your weight or whatever,
Yeah, shifting your weight and knowing. Well, and a lot of people, until you've had something crazy happen on a bike, you don't really understand what it's like. But when you wreck a motorcycle, it's a different type of feeling. It's a feeling of it's similar to when if you ever hit a patch of black ice or something in a car,
Mhm.
it's this hopelessness. It's this just, part of your brain just gives up and you just say, well, whatever fucking gonna happen happens. And, the other half of your brain is trying to figure out, okay, how do I get myself out of this? It's
Mhm.
it's a weird feeling. And I know what's crazy is you'll see people get, like, if you've ever seen people get speed wobbles or something.
I was just thinking to say the same thing. Yep.
What's weird about that is when your rear tire starts to wobble like that, or when your tires start to wobble like that, they actually tell you to give it throttle, because then the back wheel will actually grab a hold, and it'll get you out. But it's so foreign to do. The last thing you want to do is grab throttle. You want to grab brake, and grabbing brake makes it worse, because then you're locking up the tires in a weird angle and stuff. And yeah, it's crazy. So we were talking about this. My wife and I were talking about this once, and then this popped up. We were watching Friends. They're replaying Friends and stuff, and some of them are pretty good to watch. But Friends is one of those shows that if you don't have a laugh track, it's painful to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Oh my God, you should watch Friends. It's so funny." Me watching Friends. Seinfeld was like that too. Like, I've watched. You can go on YouTube and you can see where people have removed the laugh track, and it's pretty painful.
Another thing like that is when they remove the music from singers that are singing a song.
Yeah,
you've seen that.
Yeah.
That's a little cringy too.
Well, I'll tell you what though, I've listened to some that were pretty fucking crazy too. If you look up on YouTube, Grace Slick singing White Rabbit.
Yeah.
That one is crazy. It's almost like, because it's got a lot of feedback to it, or I don't know what you call it, but it's very like haunting almost in a way. It's really wild. So some of them are really cool, but some of them are, they're really weird.
Yeah.
Especially like the newer pop songs.
That's what I was referring to. Yeah.
Ugh, man, it's cringy. Speaking of musicians, horrifying 22-foot statue of baby Jesus looks just like Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
From the book of Genesis.
From the book of Genesis.
Studio.
That's good.
Oh, this is I actually saved this because I wanted to show my son and I forgot to show him. So, dude baked a loaf of bread. And it's a Goomba.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, huh? It's like sushi art. Like they do sushi art, but it's with bread. It's pretty neat. Ah, the good old days. Uh-oh. What happened? There you go. Tanning and target practice. Nice.
That's like on Top Secret when they were surfing and shooting skeet at the same time. I just watched that this weekend. That's how I knew that. Because I watched that Val Kilmer documentary on himself on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Just called Val.
We watched it. I actually watched it twice because I watched it the other day, and then I watched it. My brother-in-law came over, and we watched it again today.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty heart-wrenching.
Yeah. You really...
I just saw the trailer for it. I haven't seen it yet.
Good. It's it makes you, I've heard things about him, and that he was hard to work with sometimes, and he was like a perfectionist and kind of an asshole or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But when you watch this, you really, I got the feeling anyway that he was like that, but not for any bad reason, but just because he really was a perfectionist and was into doing wanted to do an amazing job.
Yep.
So, and yeah, he caught some really rough breaks, man, and it sucks.
And what year did he start losing his voice though?
Well, that was in it was in the 2000s.
18 was it?
I mean, it had to have been later because he was doing when they rebooted Knight Rider, he was doing the voice of Kit. And
really?
when that season didn't get picked up for a second season, then we didn't hear nothing about him anymore.
Yeah.
And then finally, you hear that, oh, he's sick. And now his voice and all that stuff. And I'm kind of like, what the heck,
How eerie was it how close his son sounds like to his voice, though? Because it's narrated a lot of that movie.
Yeah, his son has a good voice for sure. Yeah, it sounded like him. Yeah, you should watch it if you get a chance. It's on Netflix. It's good. Yeah. It's worth watching. And
well, it's just another thing. It's just like what was it? Platoon, when Charlie Sheen was doing the narration, they were almost comparing him to when Martin Sheen was doing the narration for Apocalypse Now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they said, "Wow, man, that Charlie Sheen's voice sounds very eerily like his dad, man, like in Apocalypse Now and stuff, and that's what they were comparing it when he was doing Platoon." Wow.
Yeah, so take some time and watch it. It's worth a watch.
It is.
Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Even Condoleezza Rice is hammering these guys up here. The pictures of the past few days will emblazon an image of America in retreat. Rough. Says, what are you doing if I break in? Putting up a baby gate.
That's so bad.
Yeah, so that was funny.
Toccami a me, dai. Vediamo che mi fai stasera. Toccami a me. Bravo. Dai.
I like the sound effects.
Yeah. Oh no, I've been assaulted. He just moseys off. He's like, whatever.
I think he had those croc boots on.
Yeah, there's something going on there, wasn't it? It's a wrap for Demon Time. OnlyFans to ban porn starting in October. Rest in peace, OnlyFans. They will not survive, I'm sure. It'll be it for them. Oh.
I could have seen this coming with a blindfold on. I could have.
It's been good to know you.
Yeah, rest in peace. Smash. How could that have went any other way, really? I mean, we all saw it coming, right?
A roof fell on me. No, really, what happened?
Yeah. It's like in Roadhouse. A bear fell on me. My wife is using the word mansplaining incorrectly, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, that too.
Press. Goddamn people deserve to know. Tired of covering up their dirty little secrets. This time these sons of bitches gonna be held to account.
I can't let you do that, Colonel.
Excuse me?
我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是速度与激情就比冰淇淋速度与激情就我最喜欢。
Who are you going to?
Quick, deviled eggs, yes or no? Moo.
Yep.
Jorge.
Never had them, but I'd try it.
I just made some.
Tupperware.
Not a fan of them.
Oh, what the hell? We got to run the gamut. I love them. I love deviled eggs. Yeah, Jorge, you gotta do some deviled eggs, man. They're slamming. And then you can go fart in your boss's fan.
He's like, burp, burp.
Woman shoots man 17 times by miracle. No shots hit the target. Miracle?
The eyes.
Which eye were you aiming with, lady? Maybe it wasn't exactly a miracle. Mom joke.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
It says this is highly inappropriate. Oh, so
yeah.
another Karen is instigating shit. If you see in the sort of right hand side, there's that lady. We'll call her a lady here, in the blue and white stripes.
Uh-huh.
She throws a cup. She throws a drink at the dude. He doesn't know it was her, and it just shit gets real. And I didn't even notice it at first. Then they show it from another angle, and they just pound shit out of this guy. I mean, that dude's punching him in the ass. Like they're just punching anything they can get a hold of. It's pretty crazy. But and there she is again, and it's fortunate her shirt didn't fall off. But here they show her, and she just wants to fucking start shit or instigate it or flare it up or whatever you want to call it, make it worse. Bam, and then dips. She's like, oh, better get over here so I don't get punched in the face. I fucking despise that. I despise people, not just women. I despise people that instigate shit like that.
Yeah.
See here. Get rid of this thing. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, coming back. Lands in the literally like 6 inches away from where it was when he first started. He's like, fuck it. I thought it was funny. He just threw it down. He's like, ah, the hell with it.
Are you giving Daddy his tools?
Yeah. I was gonna put it in give it back to him. You know me. Come on. You think I would?
Are you giving Daddy his tools?
Stab him in the skin.
He's like, yeah, I was gonna, yeah. You hungry? You want some brittle Richard?
Brittle Richard. Oh, thanks.
I met him one time in the Detroit airport.
Dude, he's such a weird dude, man.
Uh-huh.
Was he like super weird to actually meet?
Oh yeah. Yep. Didn't say anything.
This means friendship in Chinese.
What's with the... Never mind.
History is going to judge us very harshly, I believe, if we allow the hope and liberated Afghanistan to evaporate because we are fearful of the phrase nation building. Biden 2021. Our mission in Afghanistan was never supposed to have been nation building. Very political of him. Say whatever he needed to say. Her reaction is what's funny about it. She's like, what the fuck?
The fuck?
That was cool. That was funny.
Yeah. First job I do today. Someone's been making late night cream pies. Pornhub.
Pornhub.
Still waiting for the kick to happen.
When you're having one of those days where golf just beats you up.
It's probably wondering when. Oh! Sweet butter crumpet! My the ball drills Sterling right in the face. That man's nose must be absolutely devastated. This, frankly, is a gimme. He literally just has to kick it anywhere except where Sterling is sitting. There is no possible way that North Carolina can mess up this shot. Oh! 150. This man can do no wrong! Look at him beg for mercy when it's mercy that should be begging for him! His face is like a brick wall! A brick wall that can feel pain and cries a lot! But where's Sterling? Oh, he seems to be crawling away from the goal! What is he doing? He's throwing away the bat!
I like that. It made me chuckle. Oh, here we go. This is actually a lot of people. If you've never met Rob D, this you might not realize. This is actually Rob D up in New York at his local gun store. He's like, ooh, I like it. Hoo, oh, yeah, smooth action. Hoo ha.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Probably like, and then he goes to grab crutches. Yeah. Then he grabs crutches, which I thought was even the best part. It was probably the best part.
Got a close parking spot, I bet.
I saw these, and I almost went to try and find these things. Bro, I might not have to. I don't have time to explain. Just come over right fucking now. It's important. Cars and Truck waffle maker. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
I like it.
Kids above that.
Guys, I drew Drake. Please like to help me share my art. That's a dude from Friends. I don't know how far back you can go with sexual abuse cases, but they're going way the hell back now. Bob Dylan sued for allegedly sexually abusing 12-year-old girl in 1965.
Dang.
What the hell? They're like, run! They all take off. Americans, can you stop fucking with our gun rights? Government, best I can do is arm an entire terrorist regime again. That was from Jim. Oh, this is pretty cool. Dumbass puts the fucking gun down. She snags it. I don't know if I can't tell if she gets any rounds off, if she actually squeezes any rounds off or not. I don't think so. But it almost looks like she does at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
Like right after this point. It looks like she might. I don't know. You know the sex is good when it sounds like running in flip-flops. You know, if you run in flip-flops backwards, they go flop-flip. Bet you didn't know that.
Flop-flips.
Did you learn that from Yankee?
Yeah. Conceived as a crime deterrent, some ladies' makeup compacts fashioned in the shape of an inoperable pistol, complete with powder, cheek rouge, and lipstick in the shape of a bullet. These were popular in the 1920s. Pretty interesting. Never saw that before.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, pretty neat. Oh, this one. Check this shit out. Look at the kid in the background. Picks up a gun. Picks up a handgun. It's like swinging it around. Crazy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Not
good. It sounds like Christmas at Thanksgiving at Moo's house. My cousin just told me that it's not classy to eat a large box of shrimp fried rice by myself. I told her it's not classy to not know who her child's father is. Now everyone's yelling. Next thing you know, everybody's mad. Next thing you know, there's money missing off the dresser and your daughter's knocked up. I've seen it 100 times. You ever see this guy that catches his drone when the battery's dying? Still filming because, its camera's still working, but
it's like, don't get wet, don't get wet, don't get wet.
Yeah.
Don't fall in the water.
I can't believe it. He actually gets it. It's pretty crazy.
It'd been funny if the blades would have been hitting him. That must have been one pretty penny of a drone to do that.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. So in California, it still sucks news. Lawsuit claims social workers in California placed a child rapist in foster homes without letting parents know. Raped at least 5 boys.
Jeez.
Said the social workers placed a violent and sexual deviant boy named David Stephen in 5 foster homes over the course of 6 years without telling foster parents about his background. During his stay with the families, he reportedly raped at least 5 boys. So I'm sure they were saying, they were probably saying like, oh, well, he's a minor, so we can't release that information. But, well, that's what you get, right? It's a shame. It's fucked up. Oh, here you go. Moo, it's it's your family reunion. And your dog.
Whose turn is it to get the head cut in the fence?
Yeah.
Security Council issued a joint press statement earlier today calling for a new government that is united, inclusive, and representative, including with the full and meaningful participation of women. The council spoke with one voice to underscore that Afghanistan must abide by its international obligations, including to international humanitarian law, and ensure the safety and security of all Afghans and international citizens. The situation will continue to remain fluid in the coming hours and likely in the coming days. Nevertheless, we are operating on multiple fronts and around the clock to protect our people, those who have worked side by side with the United States over the years, and other vulnerable Afghans.
So they're asking the Taliban to not be the Taliban, I guess, and they expect them to give a shit what they fucking ask of them. Ridiculous. Ohio woman behind bars for pulling woman out of car and beating her with a hammer in front of her children. Christ.
Yeah, she is smiling.
Crazy fucking people, man.
Does it say what part of Ohio?
Every part of Ohio. Don't think it says. No. Oh, and she made a Facebook Live video bragging about it, so that's smart too. Oh, this guy. The audio for this is kind of funny.
Waiting on these colored people to get their ass out of the way. discretion, some patience.
So he starts out bitching about them taking time, and then he's like, you can tell he's probably like, oh, the kid's in a wheelchair. We better. Okay, we'll be patient.
It's kind of cool that they have school buses for the paraplegic. It's a big kid right there. That's pretty cool, Pop. Looking out for his disabled child or grandchild or whatever relations he is to this. Wait a minute, that guy got his ass up and walked up the damn steps. What kind of bullshit is that? And checking the mailbox. Get this shit.
Like, what kind of bullshit is this? This is pretty neat.
Oh, this one's hilarious.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Look at that shit.
Oh, man.
That's fucking wild.
I for sure thought he was going to hit the water.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It
just doesn't.
Then I would have said, I would have told the cameraman, okay, tell the guy to come back, jump back.
Yeah, it like doesn't look like it should even be possible. It's crazy.
So this is why boxers are my favorite breed. They always have this look on their face like they owe you money and they're really, really worried about it and they're worried you're going to ask. So this is why boxers are my favorite breed. They always have this look on their face like they owe you money and they're really, really worried about it and they're worried you're going to ask.
There you go. There's some. Next time you make pizza sauce, make sure you get this stuff: diced tomatoes. Wait, peaches. It could be peaches. It could be peaches sauce.
It's like when you get that canned food that doesn't have the label. Could be peaches. Could be something else. Could be beets.
Mystery. It could be dog food. Yeah.
Oh, Batman.
Dear Batman, I came in your mask. Regards, Robin. God, looks like it's dripping out of his mask. Gross.
He's a Batman's gun.
U.S. withdrawals from Afghanistan after 20 years of occupation. The Taliban. Do. Strolling back in. I actually showed this to my son and he laughed. He thought it was pretty funny. The zoo is a pretty safe place to fart. This guy down here says shits my pants in the gift shop. Haha, damn elephants. Ain't that the truth? 1 minute you're young and fun, and the next minute you predict the weather with your bad knee. I wish I only had one bad knee. Girls on Instagram. No, I didn't use a filter. No filters. Hashtag no filters. Burnt. Here's Gizzard in his hot tub.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, this is Burkett Customs. He does like custom knives and custom all sorts of crazy shit. 1911 grips and stuff. And he does them out of like mammoth tooth and all sorts of wild shit. And he bought a hovercraft. And he says, it's time to replace the drive belt on the hovercraft. 2 more weeks and we're up and running. And I commented, I bet I'll never ever say that in my entire life. In the face.
Oh.
Yeah. brought me I was like, oh, they're all excited. They're like, oh, look at that stick. There's that Smith & Wesson, the new Smith & Wesson. I think that thing's pretty cool, to tell you the truth. I mean, I know it's just a knockoff of like the KSG or whatever. But if that thing runs, and it's expensive though. I mean, if it was like $800 or something, I bet you they'd sell like crazy. But they're probably going to be like $1,000 or $1,100.
Is it a brace in the back?
No, it's a bullpup. It's a bullpup. It's
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a regular stock.
It's nice.
I mean, if they would run for like $850, I bet you they'd sell like crazy.
Well, I remember when Keltec came out with their shotgun, man, they were like on a waiting list to just get it in the first year.
Yeah.
You know, they were so hard to get.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got in an argument, got in a fight, and just cut loose on the guy with a handgun. It goes from self-defense to murder really fast.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's going to jail for a long time.
I promise that you won't wanna get off.
This buggies are rocking. Don't come a knocking.
Boy, those Amish people know how to rock.
The comment says the horse is just standing there like, can I go home now? CNN reporter calls Taliban friendly. I think probably everybody's probably seeing that. Wife. So how's the new patio coming along? Okay, so promise you won't get mad. Mario.
Mario.
Yeah. So I love John Daly. John Daly is a national treasure for sure. He golfs barefoot a lot. He's smoking, golfing barefoot, and he's driving golf balls over a Miller Lite can. And I've seen him do that before, to driving off of cans like that. But his reaction when he sees that he knocked over the can was like a true, true beard. Yeah, he's like, oh my god! he hops up and runs over and grabs it real quick. It's just such a funny. He does such a funny little movement. It was neat. If you've ever seen any interviews with him, he's super interesting life.
Alcohol abuse.
If chivalry is dead, explain this. Two-seater. Nice. I just know he scared the shit out of her when she turned around. Can you imagine turning around and that's in your face? It scared the shit out of you. You're like, ah.
You gotta be kidding me. Fucking move, you fucking asshole. You gotta be kidding me. Fucking move, you fucking asshole.
Daddy was singing.
Yeah. Check for cat arm before closing. Cat's like, give me some of that.
Trying to sneak in his neck.
Yeah. Taliban fighters sitting in the presidential office. He says, "We are the captains now." I've had so much sex with my body pillow, it stands up on its own now. My wife is coming to life with the actual fuck that I just read. Rise, my glorious creation. That's like one of Moo's socks. So crunchy. So angry. You know you're old anytime the entering the date of birth with a smartphone you get in the year and they have to spin that bitch like you're in Wheel of Fortune. That is a son of a bitch. It takes you a long time to get there. Foss tagged me in this one.
It's like the rainbow. Found out you meant trout, not Skittles.
I actually texted a picture of this to my boss and I said, hey, can we please put these in the bathroom at work? Amazing experience. Would poop here again. I laughed. I cried. Best 45 minutes of my life. Mesmerizing. Jaw-dropping. Endlessly inventive. I could not believe what I was seeing.
That'd be funny.
Monumentally tense. A constant thrill ride.
Better than make sure you throw the toilet paper into the bowl, not the trash can.
Yeah. When I see my wife's titties for the 4,000th time. Ain't that the truth? Care how many times. Awesome. Except that wouldn't be a Pepsi, it'd be a Coke. Oh, here's an oldie but a goodie.
No big. I feel like Pac.
And pow. Oh, boy. Oh, dude.
He got knocked the fuck out.
Taliban fighters responsibly wearing masks. It's good. Stop the spread. And I think that's it. Oh, this poor guy.
Joel, you do it. Count down from 5.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, God.
He went like completely upside down. People writing jokes about Alabama being 50th in education so they can't read. All right. So we got the poll going up here. Oh, man, we got a tie. We got a tie in the poll. Anybody out there not vote? We got how to be a good customer and tips for ordering tied at 33%. So we'll do one next week and one the week after. What was it? How to be a good customer and tips for ordering. So we'll do those the next 2 weeks. We just won't do a poll next week. We'll do those two.
Okay.
And unless in the next, oh, wait, never mind. Tips for ordering just pulled ahead. Somebody must not have. Oh, okay. Never mind. Did I said anything?
Some people probably didn't vote and just voting at the last minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll do tips. We'll do tips for ordering. So, and that poll, nice, cool. Thank you very much. And that's what we'll do next week. So, you guys got anything to? Moo already took off on us. You sleepy?
Yeah, that sneaky little bugger.
It's sleepy. It's getting late. Had a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. A lot of Instagram bullshit this week. Spicy. That's a spicy meatball, I think you're supposed to say, right? think that's what you're supposed to say.
Spicy
When
cool.
you do spicy stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff that you're doing with the polls and stuff. Because I'm thinking if you talk about certain things like how to run a restaurant or what it takes and stuff, and the stuff behind the scenes, maybe people will have a better understanding and probably give people a break when like it's like dinner at rush hour and stuff, and you want your food
Yeah.
already and stuff. You got to think, hey, dude, they could be short staffed. They may be having
Well,
problems, stuff like that.
like this,
Give
I'll have
them
to,
a chance.
yeah, and I'll have to think about this one for next week a little bit and see what I want to talk about, because tips for ordering can be lots of different stuff. It could be, you know, how to order a steak, the doneness you want, or
Yeah.
or how to order something that's going to be, fresh, like, you know, um, if you're ordering seafood, what day of the week do I think it would be good to order seafood?
Mhm.
So that kind of stuff. We'll see. Questions that you can ask the servers, and how to ask the servers certain things to maybe get an answer that'll help you out. So that, I think, that could be a good one too.
Yeah, and it's pretty
Um,
interesting because like ever since I started seeing like Kitchen Nightmares and you see Bar Rescue and you see some, yeah, you could see stuff that's real. But the thing is that when it's reality shows, they ham it up. They change stuff to make it look worse than it
there's
really is.
Yeah.
And you kind of learn from it, but you think, hey, a restaurant's really that bad? And then
Right.
you talk to somebody who's in the business. No, we wouldn't do that. That would
Yeah.
never happen. Health department would have fucking closed us or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why,
Yeah.
hearing it from the people who have been experienced or work in the industry, that information it gives people a better understanding.
hmm Yeah, hopefully it's interesting. We'll see. Like I say, we'll keep going with it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'd love for people to be a little more interactive with it and stuff. So maybe as we go a little bit, people throw out some things that
Yeah.
they want to talk about, and we can get some back and forth going, and that'd be cool. So, but it's fine. It is what it is. We'll give it a shot. So, do either of you guys have anything to plug before we get going? Anything going on? Anything, even other channels that's stuff going on other channels?
Just hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9:00, 8
Yeah,
Central.
I'll be doing a grandstand tomorrow.
What are you doing it on?
How gun control has always been classist and racist.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool.
Interesting.
For sure. So
Yeah, we haven't seen Moo in a while, man. I mean, not Moo, Ape.
He's been working nights. He's been working overtime. He's been working at night and doing what they do with fabrication and stuff like that. They're they're a little short staffed. They probably work around the clock, and I think that's what's going on. I got an email from him, was it last week or whatever. So
Yeah, because I don't think I can't remember if I've seen him in the chats either, and I know he hasn't been by here, so I assuming that like you said, he's been working overtime or nights and stuff, late and different hours or whatever, not his
he has
usual
been.
schedule.
And I did want to say too, I should have said it at the beginning of the show too. I got a text from somebody today that Dead Horse is having a hard time. He's having some issues with a family member, and some health concerns with a family member. So, if you're the type of person that prays, think about him when you're doing that and his family. And if you're not, just send him some well wishes. If you have, if you have the ability, if you have contacts for him, maybe send him a little thing, tell him you wish him well, hope everything works out. I won't get into what it is because that's his business. If he, wants to relay that, or if he wants to say it's okay for us to let people know what's going on, that's fine. He can do that. But until then, I won't. I just hope everything's good. I hope everything works out. And, if anybody, like I say, if anybody, keep him in your thoughts. and he's a good dude, and they've had a rough go of it for a little while. So, and doesn't deserve to be going through what they're going through. So, I love the dude. I love talking to the guy. He's an awesome guy. So think about him, and if you come across him in a chat, wish him well, and we'll just leave it at that. But so with that, until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for
Y'all come
commenting.
back now, yeah.
And we'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Shall not be in French.